Tonight, the Portland Thunder goes for its third straight win, but to do so, they'll have to beat the best team in the AFL. It's next on Comcast Sportsnet. The Portland Thunder have found their stride in their inaugural AFL season. 2 straight road wins have put the Thunder back into the race for the postseason. They return home to take on the 2-time defending Arena Bowl champion Arizona Rattlers, who are undefeated and looking for the AFL's first three-peat in more than 20 years. It's Thunder football on Comcast Sportsnet. Tonight inside the Moda Center, it's arena football. And yes, the Arizona Rattlers, the best team in arena football, is here one more time. And they're trying to stay undefeated. We're looking for their 8th straight win tonight. The Thunder, though, on a 3-game winning streak. Hi, everybody. Scott Lynn along with Jordan Kent. And we have a real treat for you tonight. By the way, happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. Well, what a treat we have. Arizona, averaging 66 points a game, goes against Portland. The Thunder trying to win a 3rd straight after wins in Jacksonville and Tampa Bay the last 2 weeks. Improved quarterback play, Jordan, the big key. Danny Southwick had a nice game last week at Tampa Bay.
Well, Scott, it seems like every time we call one of these games at the Moda Center, there's a new quarterback under center for the Thunder. But Danny Southwick had a sensational game in their last victory. 8 touchdown passes. He's certainly been a spark plug for this offense. He has help on the outside. Eric Rogers had 5 touchdown catches himself. So Portland, the defense has been solid all season long, but the offense is really starting to get some momentum, and that's been the key to their 2 victories, Scott.
Yeah, they scored over 60 points in each of the games in Florida. They may need to do that tonight because Arizona quarterback Nick Davila is unbelievable. He's a special player.
He certainly is, and when you look at elite quarterbacks in this league, look no further than Nick Davila. He has 28 touchdown passes in the last 3 games to just 1 interception. That has also moved him up to 9th all-time in the AFL for career touchdown passes. Passing, Tony Graziani, he has 499. So the offense has been fantastic for the Rattlers. However, the defense is giving up the most yards and points in the AFL. So expect a shootout tonight, Scott.
And we are looking forward to it. We're glad that you've joined us. It's going to be fun. It's the Rattlers and the Thunder at the Moda Center. Happy Mother's Day. Let's have some fun together.
All right, let's bring it up. Let's get a break. Let's go. Here we go.
Let's go now. It's go time. It's go time.
Let's go, baby. You don't need to talk. You don't even need to talk, man. You don't know where we're from, man. Hey, boom on Thunder. Thunder. Boom. Let's go. Head out. Head out. Yeah, I got it.
I had it a short time ago. We told you a little bit about Thunder quarterback Danny Southwick. He's been
here it is.
several colleges. And we did tell you a little bit about Thunder quarterback Danny Southwick a bit ago. He spent time at several colleges, including a short time at Oregon State. Most of his collegiate play at Occidental. In arena football, he's been with 5 teams now. Maybe he's found a home here in Portland. And it's time now to meet the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Megan Berry, standing by with Danny Southwick.
Hi, guys. Yeah, joining me now is a man who will start under center tonight for the Portland Thunder, Danny Southwick. You are no stranger to the Arena Football League, 3-year veteran. Spent last year split between the Rush and the Gladiators. Now you are at the helm of this Portland Thunder team. Coming off a big game, Danny, 8 touchdowns down in Florida. Now you are back home, riding a 2-game winning streak. How have you noticed a difference in the mentality of this team coming back?
We're a young team, and it just takes a while to get that momentum going. I feel like right now there's a lot of positivity, a lot of energy, with all the teammates, and so right now, tonight is important for us to get off to a fast start and continue that momentum that we had.
Of course, and every week it seems like Coach Salk is adding new receivers to your line of sight. How difficult is that to adjust to?
Well, it's not that difficult because you got to think I've only been on the team, for a few weeks, so it's all new to me regardless, but I don't mind. We've got some great guys out here. So,
of course, 2-game winning streak on the line tonight. What was Coach Salk's message to you?
Well, to me specifically, Coach Salk just wanted me to play smart, take what they give me. We have a whole team of players. I don't have to do it all by myself, and just stay within myself and continue to execute. So,
of course, and finally back home, ready to play your first home game. How does that feel?
Feels awesome. This is awesome. I've been enough road games. I'm ready to be here in Portland playing in front of our fans. So
perfect. Thank you for your time. Best of luck tonight, Danny.
Bye. All right,
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Megan. Scott Lynn along with Jordan Kent as we look at the rules of the game, just a few, 8 players per side. We've got the running clock, and of course, it's only a 50-yard field here. The ball coming off the net of the walls, it's still in play, and it's a lot of fun. Touchdown, 6 points, of course. There are 2-point conversions. You can even drop kick one for a field goal for 4 if you'd like, but not many people do that for sure. So it's going to be a fun night, and we've already had the coin flip, and we're ready to go here as the Arizona Rattlers won the coin flip. They choose to defer to the second half, so they will kick off. Back to take the kick is Dwayne Brooks, one of the top return men in arena football. The kick comes to him. He takes it a couple of yards deep in the end zone, and here comes Dwayne Brooks. He is something special. He is a good player, and he is brought down here early on. It was number 24, Alan Chapman, making the stop. So here comes Portland, and we get to see, for the first time this year, Danny Southwick here at the Moda Center.
Well, as you mentioned, Danny was very excited to be back here in front of the fans of the Moda Center. Played very well the last 2 games. As we mentioned in the open, 8 touchdown passes in his last game. The key to this game, getting off to a great start. They haven't had great starts here at home, Scott.
No, they haven't. And taking care of the football, that's got to be one thing to do, because as you look at that starting lineup, you also see Brandon Lockhart, the former Oregon Stater, in at the fullback spot tonight, as Davon Allen is a little dinged up and will not play tonight. First pass, Southwick in a hurry. It goes out to the guy you talked about earlier, Eric Rogers, and he is stopped immediately there by Keith Brown.
Well, they're going to ride Rogers all game long. He had the 5 touchdown catches in last week's win, of course. And for a quarterback like Danny Southwick, you want a big target out on the outside, and Rogers being 6'4" is certainly going to fit that role.
So it's going to be second down and about 5. Brooks in motion. Southwick gets out of trouble. The pass is complete, and it is Rogers one more time, again picked up by Brown.
And we saw a little bit of pressure on Southwick, which is unusual for the Rattlers because they don't get after the quarterback that often. This is a team that we mentioned, very strong offensively, but defensively they give up the most yards and points in the entire league. So for all that scoring that they do, the defense doesn't really help out the offense too much.
Yeah, in fact, they only have 4 sacks on defense all season, so you're exactly right on that. Little confusion here as Douglas McNeil and Rogers were confused as to who was going to be in high motion. Southwick pass. It's to McNeil. He's got it. He's close to a first down. Couple yards shy inside the 20 to the 19. Again, Keith Brown making the stop.
And Scott, we've seen this team improve so much week to week. This Thunder team, they're young. The first couple weeks very rough around the edges. A lot of penalties, especially on those opening drives. But even though they've had some interchangeable pieces at quarterback, for the most part, the core has remained, and they're looking more and more solid and polished each week.
They absolutely are. Second down and a couple of yards to go. Danny Southwick, as you see, he heads over to talk to head coach Matthew Salk. Salk, by the way, played for Arizona a while back. In 2008, he was the backup quarterback under the head coach Kevin Guy of the Arizona Rattlers. So you know that Matthew Salk wants to win this one tonight.
Well, definitely. He wants to keep that 2-game winning streak going alive, but he's really trying to prove himself as a coach, being able to build a expansion team like the Thunder into a legitimate team, and this team's getting better, as we mentioned.
Well, they say he did get a first down, so it's 1st and 10 to hand the ball out of the hands of McNeil and almost picked off, but no, Marquise Floyd could not quite get there.
Marquise Floyd, a young man that I had a chance to spend a camp with and a season with in Seattle, and ball just goes off the hands of McNeil right there, and Floyd not able to get quite there, gets his fingertips right underneath it, but those are the types of turnovers Portland has to avoid. We saw that earlier in their games this season, Scott, where they get a couple good plays but then turn it over in the red zone.
So second down 10. McNeil, a high motion man. Southwick throws, and he found a guy. Yes, he did. And it's 1st and goal for the Thunder as Brooks makes the catch.
And what I like about Southwick, in this league, the quarterback doesn't have a whole lot of time in the pocket. But Southwick does such a good job of dropping back, looking through his reads, and then getting out of the pocket, getting out of harm's way, setting his feet, and delivering a strike right there. And a very nice, accurate throw. And Brooks does the job of getting himself open and making himself available to the quarterback.
Southwick, in 3 games this year, already has thrown more touchdown passes and as many interceptions as he has in his 3-year AFL career. Pretty much limited playing time until now. Throws in there. It's off the net. It's intercepted. Bad bounce for Portland. It is picked off by Marquise Floyd. Now there's a flag on the play, and it may go. Well, we'll see. We'll just wait and sort it out. But that's a bad break for Portland.
Well, unfortunately, Rogers gets tripped up on the back of his route, and this time Floyd is able to make the most out of an errant throw that ricochets. But look at Rogers in the back of your screen right here, just stumbles, doesn't get a chance to jump up and go for this ball. It's great positioning by Southwick, but unfortunately, if you can't get the ball, it's going to bounce off. It's live in play right there.
That is one of the fun things about the Arena Football League is that yes, the ball's in play sometimes after you'd think the play is over, but no, this was not fun for Portland. So now Nick Davila comes out and we'll see what can happen. The ball is literally out to the 1 foot line, we'll call it. The Thunder had a safety last week. Casey Obi got the sack and a safety. Let's see if anything happens here. Oh, complete to Rod Windsor, and he is going to go all the way. Touchdown, and you can't go any farther than they just did for a touchdown pass.
And that's what makes Davila so dangerous. You just see the ball that he delivers right there, 3 quick dropbacks, and just slings it out to Windsor right there. And the 2 receivers for Arizona, Windsor and Purify, who we'll probably hear his name later, they can certainly light it up. But Davila, 3 steps, just a strike, perfect position where you can't make a play on that as a DB, and that's what Arizona does. That's what makes them so good. They can strike so quickly regardless of where they're at on the field.
500th career touchdown pass for Nick Davila. By the way, Arizona ranks 13th out of 14 teams in time of possession, only 28 minutes a game. That's why they score, boom, like that so often. Bad snap, trouble. Here's Casey Barth trying to kick it through, and it's still live, still up there. And now, finally, it will come to rest. So, no extra point. A rough start for the Portland Thunder, but they do catch a break as the PAT is missed. We'll be back, 6-0, Arizona on top. Throwing a 49-yard touchdown pass to Rod Windsor to give his team a quick 6-0 lead. Let's go down on the field to Megan.
Yeah, guys, the Rattlers QB Nick Davila just threw for his 29th touchdown pass in the last 4 games. And that made for his 500th in his career, and he's accomplished that feat in 4.5 seasons. Now his targets, receivers, Maurice Purify, Rod Windsor, and Kerry Reed, they're as tough as any trio of receivers in this Arena Football League. Now the Rattlers, though, they do have to deal with the Thunder's defense, who looks to capitalize on their mistakes tonight.
All right, thank you very much, Megan. You saw Dwayne Brooks bring the football out to the 12-yard line. Yeah, Davila's really something. I mean, he is, we talk about the numbers he's put up recently, but he has passed for over 4,800 yards in all 4 of his AFL seasons.
And that's impressive. And when you've got that type of experience underneath center, you're going to see plays like that just happen, where you're at the 1-yard line, you're backed up, and you're trying to just at least get the ball out, and he delivers a perfect strike that leads to a touchdown, and you've all of a sudden just seized complete momentum of this game.
Leads the AFL with 58 touchdown passes, 295 yards a game. He's over 2,000 yards already. We're not even to the halfway point of the season. He's headed for 4,000 again.
And he's a big reason why the Rattlers are 7-0. They've played in the last 3 Arena Bowls, and they've won the last 2, as a matter of fact. So Portland, it's the same thing that we talked about, Scott, where they come out, they have 4 or 5 great completions that look like they're moving the ball, and then just something goofy happens. And in that case, it was Southwick sailing the ball and having it bounce off the upright and into the hands of Marquise Floyd.
McNeil in motion. Southwick throws. It is complete to McNeil, and he is brought down. But Douglas McNeil gets the first down and into Arizona territory.
What we're seeing with Southwick is he's able to just deliver the ball accurately. Earlier in the season, we saw a lot of passes sort of sail over the heads of the receivers or fall short, or they just were outside of their target range, which led to a lot of interceptions. But Southwick is able to step up in the pocket and deliver an accurate ball, and that's what you need in this league.
First 5 games, Portland's most points was 36, but they've scored over 60 the last 2 games. And now Southwick throws to McNeil, end zone. Couldn't catch up to him.
And great coverage by Jeremy Kellum. He just hangs out in the back pocket of Douglas McNeil right there. And that's all you can really do as a DB on those corner routes, is to make sure that you're at least getting a little bit of contact with the receiver as he's making his way down the field. Because if you let the receiver get a clean break to that 45-degree angle outwards, he can catch those kind of balls. But if you can stay on his hip and force him to slow down a step, you're going to get incompletions like that.
Got a good look at Douglas McNeil III there. He had 4 TD receptions at Jacksonville a couple of weeks ago. Franchise record 12 catches, 154 yards. And this is complete to Eric Rodgers. Can he get in? Yes, he can! Tie game!
And that's what they love about Rodgers, the big-bodied receiver that can catch the ball in the middle of the field, break a tackle, yet has the acceleration to burst down the field and make a big play like that. Rodgers, 5 touchdowns last week, already off to a hot start tonight.
Yeah, the 5 touchdowns was a franchise record. Of course, the Thunder in their first ever season.
And Rodgers right here just catches it, and all you got to do in this situation is make one man miss and get north and south as quickly as possible. And Rodgers can't do it any better than that.
Michael Bronstein on to try the point after. Made 9 of 10 at Jacksonville, but only 5 of 9 at Tampa Bay. This one is up, and it is good. And the Thunder have taken the lead here against the best team in the Arena Football League. It's 7-6 Portland here early in this football game. Don't go away. There's a lot of action still to come here at the Moda Center. Tonight's Portland Thunder game is presented by Standard TV and Appliance. And the Thunder off to a good start here, leading 7-6 early on. An initial turnover, an interception that was quickly turned into 6 points for Arizona. As you see, number 1, Darren Thomas, the former Duck. He's on special teams, and he's about to go to it. To go to work.
Well, Darren's an athlete. He's got size, 6'3", 215. We know that he can run from his days at Oregon. What do you do with an athlete that can run? You put him on special teams, of course. And so Thomas getting a chance to get out there and just mix it up and stay warm in case anything happens to Southwick, which is hopefully not the case.
Michael Bronstein kicks off. This is Nick Miller back to take it in the corner of the end zone. Miller brings it out across 5-10. Look out, trouble here. Bronstein, he's a tough kicker. He brought him down at midfield.
Bronstein's a little tank right there. We'll have to give him a hard time about that later. And a lot of times your kicker's the last line of defense, and that's huge right there because when you've got Arizona with a shorter field, it's going to be a tighter area for them. And something interesting about the kicks that we'll take a closer look at next time. The jumbo screen here in the Moda Center, the motor is broken, so it doesn't raise as much as possible. Normally, Bronstein wants to try and kick that ball off the uprights in the middle of the field. Tonight, though, in order to get the hang time on his kicks, he has to aim for the corner of the end zone, which is different for your coverage team and not the ideal situation. So keep an eye on that as we go throughout tonight's game.
The last time Nick Davila touched the football, he threw 49 yards for a touchdown. He's looking end zone again. He's got a guy out there. Windsor can't quite catch up to it. Defended by Varmasoni. And also, we saw Dwight McLean back there.
We mentioned the receivers as part of the reason why Davila is very successful. It's his protection also, Scott. This is an offensive line for Arizona that's only allowed 3 sacks this season, and not even a single sack in the last 5 games as we start to see some players mix it up right there. And come on, guys, it's Mother's Day. Didn't they raise you better than that right there? No need to be chipping around out in the middle, in between plays.
Well, penalties, Arizona on the year, 56 penalties for 427 yards, but Portland is the most penalized team in the Arena Football League. 86 penalties, 574 yards, and the first time all season that they did not have more penalty yardage than their opponent was last week when they won at Tampa Bay.
Defense number 11. 10-yard
Scott,
penalty.
how many of those penalties have we seen where they just come at the most inopportune times, where it's 4th down in a drive, or it's 3rd and long and you force them into a tough situation, and then there's just a cheap little penalty tacked on at the end, and here we have an unsportsmanlike conduct personal foul, and you're just moving the chains for Arizona. In an offense like this, you don't want to give them any free yardage whatsoever.
We should mention that Antron Dillon is back in the starting lineup tonight. He has not played since the 3rd game of the season. He is one of the captains of this Portland team. Number 3, he's on the D-line. Here we go. There's still some attitude down there, Jordan.
Well, the fumbled snap by Arizona, they are not very strong at the center position, especially the quarterback-center exchange right there. His number 66, Jeff Maddox, struggles with that. Because of that, Portland was going to shift their defensive line around and shift some players around into different spots to take advantage of putting more pressure on their center.
I'll tell you, Jeff Maddox, the center, almost got twisted over backwards right there.
That was always
punishment for the snap.
That was never a good side as a receiver. You saw those knees getting twisted up by those linemen. I don't know how they do it, but Arizona retains possession, and
Dante Page-Moss lining up at the nose guard spot, just blast him. And that'll be another penalty. Page-Moss did miss a game earlier this season, suspended by the league when he was involved in an incident with an official in the game at Spokane, and it hurts his team. This is a very talented player, but he's got to stay on the field and keep his emotions under control.
Well, Coach Sock wants his defense to be aggressive, and that's physically, but mentally you still have to play smart. And this Portland team leads the league in takeaways at 25. But the penalties right there, we've seen 2 on this drive alone, Scott. That's something that they still have to work on eliminating.
2nd down, 7. Windsor in motion. Throws towards Windsor, and it's caught by a fan. Once it touches the fan, it's done. But, you know, that ball is still in play for a while.
He's pretty upset right there. He wanted that souvenir, and it wasn't a bad catch by him whatsoever. However, that reminds me of a fan out in outfield in baseball where they reach over the top. That ball is still technically in play if that fan doesn't touch it and it bounces off the wall. And if Portland was in the right position, you're not necessarily helping out the home team right there.
You are.
We're not going to call him Bartman. We're not going to go there. We're not going to call him Bartman yet.
No. It might have ended up as a touchdown though, so maybe he was a.
He wants a replay. He wants a replay though.
Looking, touchdown, Purify. Maurice Purify, he is the team leader in receptions. That's his 55th catch of the year. It's his team high. He adds to his team high yardage, which was 765 coming in. And that is his 21st touchdown catch of the year, 2nd in the AFL.
6'4", 230, a big body like that. If you can get in front of the defender, all you have to do is just deliver the ball onto his numbers. And when you have a quarterback as good as Davila, that's not a problem whatsoever. So they clear out the back of the defense with Windsor going through motion. Purify runs a slant underneath. Easy pickings.
Good snap this time. The point after this time hits wide to the net. And Eric Crocker throws a souvenir up into the stands. So 0 for 2 on point afters thus far. Arizona scores again, but the lead is only 5. 12-7 here at the Moda Center. The fans now waiting for Portland to get the ball. Back here in Portland as the first quarter, it looks like it has come to an end here as the scoreboard clock had a running clock, and they're going to have to reset the time here because as we take a look at the standings, National Conference, Arizona, as we mentioned, 7-0. I mean, you go back, they've got an 11-game winning streak overall. Their last, they started this streak back July 27th when they beat Iowa 84-45. So 11 straight wins going back to 2 seasons. And then you also count the playoff wins. Arizona's just so tough to beat. Portland, 0-5 start. Didn't score more than 36 those first 5 games, but now after scoring over 60 the last 2, they are 2-5. They're playing much better.
And Scott, top 4 teams make the playoffs right there. So Portland's sitting in that 4 spot right there. That's great for the Thunder. And as we mentioned, this team's playing better though, and that's what's encouraging. It's not like they're really repeating a lot of their mistakes. Sure, you want to clean up the opening drive, but Portland showing some improvement.
Well, they had to reset the clock here on the scoreboard because it ran during the timeout, and after a touchdown, the clock should have stopped. The kicker, Barth, sends it off the net. It's a live ball. Look out, Thunder, knock it out of bounds. That's a pretty smart play there.
They always used to teach us that when we were on the hands team receiving an onside kick. Just knock it out of bounds, especially if you get one of those squibbers that you can't really quite get a hand on, and it's sort of a 50-50 ball to grab. So smart play right there by Portland. And now you've got Danny Southwick back underneath center trying to drive his team down the field again. Hasn't had a problem moving the ball. And for Portland, they responded really well to Arizona's touchdown. And fortunately, Portland's been converting their extra points. Arizona, meanwhile, hasn't. And that could mean something later in this game, Scott.
If, of course, the Thunder keep scoring. Scott Lynn, along with Jordan Kent and Megan Barry, it's Arena Football. The Thunder in Arizona here at the Moda Center. Quick hitter to Brooks is brought down after a pickup of a yard or 2. Our Keith Brown defending.
Portland trying to go with the swing pass out right there and then cut his defender over Brooks and hopefully spring Brooks free to treat it like a kick return where he just has to make one man miss. And we see that a lot, Scott, when Portland's backed up in their own red zone, is they like to go out to the perimeter for the real quick swing passes and let the receivers grab a couple yards.
Brooks, the leading receiver on this team in catches, as that one comes out to Rogers. And Rogers has the first down. He is tackled by Jeremy Kellum. Also, I think Kerry Reed was in there on that as well. But that's a nice play. And Southwick and Rogers seem to have something going.
Well, it's a very encouraging throw when you look at Southwick and his potential, because it's a timing throw that he has to get up over the top of the defender, dropping back into the first level, but then not sail it too high to where it goes over the hands of his receiver and the DB is able to make a play on it. And those are balls, honestly, that Portland couldn't complete week 1.
The pass towards Rogers. Could not get up high enough to make the catch. Kellum was back there defending.
I like the aggressiveness of Portland. I mean, they're able to get downfield and get open, and a play like that, you just got to take a little bit more air off the ball by Southwick. He realizes he missed on that one, and Rogers is able to get a hand on it. But again, there's more accuracy down the field, Scott, and these plays are becoming closer and closer to home runs. And we mentioned that the offense is really the only thing that needs to get going.
We mentioned the 8 touchdowns that Southwick threw at Tampa Bay last week. He also threw for over 300 yards, 307 to be exact. Southwick going to have to scramble. Now he's in trouble. Gets rid of it. It is complete to Rogers. First down and then some. Can he find more room to go? Nope. Inside the 15, and he is stopped by Marquise Flores. Wow, nice play. Getting out of trouble, Danny Southwick.
It was the pocket awareness right there. He's able to avoid the sack, and Rogers, credit him for doing a great job of finding his quarterback in trouble, getting to a spot where he can deliver the throw, and Southwick gets it on time and accurate, even with a couple of defensive linemen hanging on him right here.
You can see there that, again, Southwick gets rid of the ball before a sack can happen, and Arizona showing pressure tonight.
They have been. They haven't really been able to get after the quarterback too often. They don't take the ball away too often, but they're able to get a big hit on Southwick and pressure him, but he's able to deliver it to Rogers.
Now the sack. And that is Tyree Glasper. He is the MAC linebacker, and he found Southwick.
Well, if you're Coach Sock, you want to sit down and have a chat with your offensive line, because that's about the 3rd or 4th time this drive that they've been able to get a little bit of pressure on Southwick. And whether that's the routes taking a longer time to develop or just the protection breaking down earlier, you've got to get the ball out a little sooner.
First sack of the year for Glasper as the first quarter has come to an end. Only the 5th sack of the season for the Arizona Rattlers, but it has put the Thunder in some serious field position. 2nd down and 15 when the second quarter begins. Michael Harper, former Blazer, in the house here tonight. And Comcast Sportsnet will bring you the most Trailblazers pre- and post-game coverage with Rip City Live before and talking ball and Trailblazers Pulse after every playoff game. Tomorrow at 6:30, just ahead of Game 4. Tune in for an hour of live pregame insight and interviews on Rip City Live. Then change the channel back to Comcast Sportsnet right after the game for live post-game analysis and highlights on Talking Ball at 10. Followed by the show you drive the content by using hashtag Blazers Talk. It's Trailblazers Pulse Live at 11. Jordan, I know you're part of that coverage. What fun it's been, but lately not so fun.
This series hasn't been too fun. San Antonio's playing at a whole nother level. I don't think anybody in the league can beat them at this point, but Portland, they got a chance to make history to try to come back from 3 down. They just got to do better in the second quarter, Scott.
A lot of pride on that team. I wouldn't be surprised if they win tomorrow. And McNeil, as the ball comes off the boards, it was up for grabs there for a time.
Those are usually tough balls to catch. Anytime that you're running right into the sideline boards right there and it's a ball right at kind of your torso, those are tough ones to bring in. And McNeil just gets it squirted out right there and almost a live ball.
Yeah, and Kellum was almost had a steal.
Well, if you're Portland, you're fortunate right there that he didn't get his second pick of the game right there for Kellum. But as we mentioned, the offense moving the ball very well this game so far.
Early second quarter. A touchdown would give the Thunder the lead. Southwick throws. There's a flag on the play. Brooks is out there, and he can't come in with the reception. Oh, might be a hold anyway.
Number 4, Dwayne, the Thrill Brooks.
It may have come back.
That's what the official's signaling, but we'll let him make it official here.
Holding. Offense number 72.
It is.
Penalty
It is a
decline.
hold against Portland. Decline, so it will now be 4th down. You see Brandon Lockhart. He is, again, former Oregon Stater. Spent a little time there. Made the team at an open tryout. starting at fullback tonight for Davon Allen.
It's been interesting how much pressure Arizona's been able to get on Portland, considering the offensive line has been pretty solid and Southwick has been able to establish himself in the pocket, but still a couple more penalties that we need to clean up here, Scott, and I'm sure Coach Sock would agree with you.
4th down and 15. Got to get inside the 4 for a first down. Look for the end zone. No, it is picked off. This is Marquise Floyd with his 2nd pick of the night. He returns it to midfield. The tackle by Max Jean-Gillis to save a touchdown, perhaps, after the interception. So with a change of possession, we will take a quick one and come right back. 12-7, Arizona with the lead, and now the football here at the Moda Center. Marquise Floyd with 2 interceptions tonight, his first 2 picks of the season. He now has 44 in his career, the Arena Football League top 10 for career interceptions, and you've seen why tonight. Here comes a pass down towards Miller. Did he make the catch? I think he did. Yes, he did. Incredible catch by Nick Miller. Extends the Arizona lead, and he takes a bow.
Nick Miller laying out for that one. That is not an easy catch at all, boys and girls, and we can't sing the praises of Davila enough. I know he plays for the other team, but just his ability to deliver the ball quickly and accurately down the field in a spot that only his receiver can make the catch, and my goodness, Miller crashing into the headboards right there and able to secure the catch, and Arizona back on top on the board.
And Casey Barth finally gets a point after successfully into the net. He is now 1 for 3 tonight. But a beautiful play, no question. Davila throws it down, and it is caught by Miller, and Arizona now leads 19-7. The Thunder Dance team here as Arizona leads Portland 19-7. Hey, the Thunder season will continue Thursday, May 22nd. The next time the Thunder's home, they'll host the San Antonio Talons, 7 o'clock here on Comcast Sportsnet. Hopefully the Thunder has a little better luck against a team from San Antonio than the Blazers have had lately. That's coming up Thursday, May 22nd, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. You know, that game is a Thursday night game, and it comes, just 5 days after they play a Saturday night game at San Jose. So a quick turnaround that week.
Those are tough turnarounds. I know in the NFL when they do the Sunday-Thursday round, your body can't recover in time. As another kick bounces off for Portland, they're fortunate enough to get a hand on it this time as Dwight McLean able to take it out to the 5-yard line. So Portland able to avoid a costly mistake right there.
Yeah, 2 turnovers tonight, and on both of those interceptions by Floyd, they've immediately gone for a quick hit and scored a touchdown. Let's go down on the field to Megan Barry. Megan?
Yeah, guys, well, after the Rattlers struck right before the break, Coach Sock was pretty riled up. He said, to the offense, they've got to make plays when they've got the chance, saying the Rattlers just simply don't give up big plays when they are on offense. They bring the top offense into the Moda Center tonight with 66 points per game, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, Megan. Southwick gets out of trouble. Doesn't get it to Eric Rogers, who made a game effort to come back and get it. But, I mean, that, again, when you're playing the best team in the Arena Football League, you can't afford really any mistakes.
You can't at all, and Coach Sock's right. There's been the ball has just been outside the fingertips of a Thunder receiver, or it's hit the wall, or it's bounced a little too far, and you have to make those plays if you're going to beat this Arizona team that's sitting 7-0, because you see how quickly they can score.
They scored the first 10 possessions last year. Oh, look out here. Coming in to get him is Dukes. Cliff Dukes comes in, and they're going to mark it out at the 2-yard line with forward progress. But Dukes with a nice, his 2nd sack of the season.
And, Scott, I'm really surprised by the amount of pressure Arizona's been able to apply. We haven't really seen Portland struggle with protection so far this season, and even early on in this game, Southwick was able to deliver and have time to step up in the pocket, but there's some miscommunication going on right now, and that O-line really needs to shore things up on this drive or expect to get another earful from Coach Sock if they turn it over here.
Portland came into this game with 15 sacks on the season. Southwick, quick hitter to McNeil. He's got it. He tries to break free. He's got the first down. He's across midfield and into Arizona territory. He is finally brought down by Reed with help from Floyd.
Well, it's funny. Early in the season, Portland had these quicker, shiftier receivers, and it was all about getting them the ball on the outside and letting them beat guys one-on-one. But now with these big-bodied guys, just get them the ball in the middle of the field, and they're going to break a tackle and able to make a play or make a guy miss. And that's where we've seen Portland having most of their success tonight, was getting the ball down the middle of the field and letting the receivers make the play.
Douglas McNeil III, the rookie out of Bowie State. Again, problems for Portland, and it's another turnover. Wow. Dukes comes up with the football. And I think that the guy you're looking at there on the screen is maybe the most surprised guy in the building, because his team has played pretty well the last couple of weeks, but tonight it has not gone their way. 3 turnovers, and we're not even halftime. 19-7 Rattlers. .10:24 left here in the first half. 19-7, and turnovers have been the issue.
Well, 3 turnovers in this one. It started early in the first quarter. First drive, Southwick's pass bounces off the upright into the hands of a very opportunistic Marquise Floyd. Then 4th down, the Thunder have to go for it, but a forced throw, of course, by Southwick. Floyd with the 2nd interception of the day. Then just a botched snap between Southwick and Daniels right there. And what we've seen from Arizona is they're able to capitalize very quickly, as we see a rare running play by the Rattlers. Number 8, Alex Singleton at fullback, gaining a couple yards right there.
Yeah, he actually has 30 carries this year, which is a lot for Arena Football League teams, this being just their 8th game. 58 yards, almost 2 yards per carry. He has 6 touchdown rushes, which is impressive.
It makes sense in the red zone, but when you're at the midfield and you've got Davila underneath center, why would you just not throw it every single time? But hey, maybe you're just trying to keep the defense honest and give them a different look.
Whistle here will stop play, and it's going to be a penalty against Arizona.
Offense number 2, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
It'll still be 2nd down, and instead of 7, it'll be 2nd down and 12. See Maurice Purify right there. Again, just so impressive. 4 100-yard receiving games this year. He has a touchdown catch now in all 8 games.
And that's what you look for when you're Davila. You're able to develop that consistency with receivers. Portland, you've had Brooks here the whole year, but a lot of guys have been injured, and it's kind of been a revolving door. And once you get on the same page with the receiver, it's hard to stop a tandem like that.
Windsor with the catch. And McLean grabs and holds on, keeps him shy of the 1st down. Let's go down on the field to Megan.
Yeah, guys, well, the emotions are running high right now on the Thunder bench after that last turnover, but the guy at the helm, Danny Southwick, he had a message to his receivers. He said, you know, 1 touchdown could change the momentum and the whole feel of this game. He said, keep your heads up, we can get back in this.
Well, that's the way you have to look at it, isn't it, Jordan?
Well, as your quarterback, you've got to make sure that the team doesn't get too high emotionally. I mean, this is a game where you got to manage your emotions. You're going to get excited about things like that, but you want a quarterback that can just feel confident as the big fella, number 69, Michael Huey, the declared tight end. Not too many people are going to be able to take him down with an arm tackle right there as Huey rumbles into the end zone right there.
Yeah, 6'5", 315, the 3rd-year guy out of Texas. The former Longhorn was tough to bring down there. And it's another touchdown. 4th touchdown pass of the night for Davila.
Well, you know, when you get the ball into the hands of those big fellas, it's a little tough for them to catch it. But once they get it, they're so excited and so determined to score because they don't see that pay dirt too often.
Casey Barth, who's missed a couple tonight, does get that one. So he's 2 of 4 tonight after going 19 of 20 last week against Jacksonville. He just joined the team, by the way. As we head to break, you get one more look at Michael Huey with his 2nd touchdown catch of the season. Impressive. (26-7). Arizona leading Portland here. As we are at the Moda Center. It's been a beautiful day today, but it's turning out to be a rough night for the home team, as it's been in this building for the last couple of hours.
The second quarters have hurt both home teams, Blazers and Thunder, but Dwayne Brooks with the good return right here, going to get a little bit of field position for his offense. And if you're the Portland Thunder offense, especially the offensive line, Scott, you've had a good look in the mirror during this last break, and you have to get more protection for Danny Southwick. If he gets just a half-second more in the pocket to deliver the throw, that's when this offense is able to move the ball down the field. But he's been pressured the last couple drives, and they haven't been able to get into a rhythm.
3 turnovers for the Thunder, and Arizona has scored all 3 times. That's the difference in this one thus far. And now whistle will stop play. You go back to that play that made it 26-7. Michael Huey, the tight end, again declaring himself eligible just before the play, makes the catch and run. Usually they talk about run after catch. This was more bulldoze after catch.
Yeah, rumble after catch, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't graceful, but it was powerful. And 315, that's a lot of weight to take down, especially if you're a DB. And just great execution by Arizona. But Portland with the penalty there, and Southwick going to have to really get some composure going here.
Quick hitter to Brooks out on the left side. Chapman was there defending, tried to strip the ball. Dwayne Brooks holds on to it. Brooks, again, you talk about playmakers. He has been Portland's playmaker on kick returns. He's been the top receiver, had 40 catches coming into this one. You look back, though, he has 431 yards. That's not the most on the team. The most on the team was a guy who was traded prior to Game 5. After just 4 games, Jeffrey Solomon traded for Kyle Rowley, the quarterback who is injured and unavailable right now. Quick hitter, it goes to Eric Rogers on the right side, and he is brought down very quickly by Arkeith Brown. But both teams actually have receivers down. Justin Monahan isn't available tonight. Al Vance Robinson is dinged up and not playing for Portland. On the other side of the ball, you have Tyson Poots, who had 12 touchdown catches. He's not on the trip, didn't play last week against Jacksonville. He's another of the key receivers for Arizona.
Well, this is the point of the season where players start to get banged up, and you're going to have to make a lot of those weekly transactions to fill those holes. And for Portland, looking at this drive, it looks like they're starting to go with shorter passes to keep that pressure off of Southwick and let their receivers run after that.
That ball tipped away, incomplete. You see number 5. Now that you Thunder fans know that has been Justin Monahan's number, but it's Jamar Howard who's making his first appearance tonight. He was acquired this week from Cleveland, played 8 games last season with the Gladiators, had 39 catches, 6 for touchdown. He played his college ball at Cincinnati in 2009, played 5 games for the team, and then moved on to Central Missouri, where he finished up his collegiate career. But Jamar Howard, welcome to Portland.
Another big body receiver, 6'4", 215. Rogers with the catch, and Rogers is doing a real nice job of getting separation on those crossing routes, and those are not accurate throws. I mean, those are very difficult throws to be accurate on for Southwick, and he's doing a great job of getting the ball in stride to let his receiver maintain that speed right there. And we always liked his receivers on crossing routes to sort of use the official as a pseudo screen right there, as Rogers does. And hey, they're in the field of play, you might as well use it.
He had the catch of the week in the AFL last week at Tampa Bay. Went up over the boards and held on to the football. And again, 5 TD receptions last week against Tampa Bay. Now the quick hitter out to the left side again. McNeil making the grab.
And he had Rogers there. Rogers with a really nice double move on his defender and had some separation in the corner of the end zone. And reminding folks once again, these end zones are different than the other end zones at other arenas across the league. You've got the rounded corners here, and typically you've got squared off corners in the other arenas. So less room to work with when you're looking for a lot of those corner throws.
Scott Lynn, Jordan Kent, Megan Berry with you here at the Moda Center. It's Arena Football in Arizona, the best team in the AFL. 7-0 on the year, leading Portland 26-7. Southwick, end zone. Did he make the catch? He might be on the highlight reel again. Eric Rogers showing how it's done, even if you don't get to stay in the building.
Rogers, unbelievable athleticism right there. What wall? What wall? Going up and over to it, and it was funny. We just talked about those corners right there, Scott. Typically, that's a pass right there. And let's look at Southwick. Gets it up in the air. Rogers gets his hands on it, and our cameraman looking alive down there.
You got to stay loose.
You got to always be ready in Arena League. And you talk about trying to get some momentum back and get some energy into this crowd and this team. Play like that's certainly going to do it.
Stepping out in Portland for sure. And the point after is good by Braunstein. Michael Braunstein, the rookie, played at University of Washington and at Ohio. He was a Rosa Award semifinalist, and he was good on that one. And it gets the Thunder back within 12.
Well, right here, the separation. And Rogers, kind of a steeplechase over. I'm not going to say hurdle, because it sort of uses his foot to get up over, but that's incredibly difficult to do right there, because you're concentrating on the ball. You're expecting to land on ground, and then to make that adjustment. Props to our cameraman, Brad McCormick, right there for getting out of the way and allowing Rodgers some room to land, and that's what they love about him. He catches everything. He's a touchdown machine. 5 touchdown catches last week in the victory, his second one tonight, and
yeah, 8 now in just the 3 games he's played for Portland.
And if you're Portland, you're almost kind of kicking yourself, because you did have to trade Solomon to bring in Rowley. Rowley's hurt right now, and we haven't had a chance to really compare Rowley to Southwick, but it certainly looks like Southwick's a guy that can get it done. And you imagine, what would you do if you had Rodgers and Solomon out there? But teams have to be able to adjust and adapt this year.
We should mention that the win at Jacksonville, the first ever for this franchise, it was Rowley that led the way. He threw 8 touchdown passes and passed for a franchise record 323 yards. So the last 2 weeks, we've seen good quarterback play.
Bronstein lined up in the center. We'll see if he kind of goes with a lower squib kick, or if he tries to get some height underneath this one.
It's an onside attempt. I don't know. It looks like, well, we've got action here. A couple of players fighting. Bryce Pila is one of them for Portland. They're going to have to be separated.
Pila and Singleton getting into it, and Singleton just getting an earful from his coach. And
Dwayne Brooks with the cover.
So if you're Arizona, you have to know something's up, because they're lining up underneath, and Singleton just ignores the ball. He's going for the hit and ignores the ball coming right at him. He just needs to sit there and make a play, and Singleton right here. It'll be interesting what type of timeout they give him right here.
Well, the other thing is, when you're down now a couple of possessions, you've got to try to steal 1 or 2 along the way, and I think that's what we saw here. The turnovers have hurt Portland in so many ways tonight.
Well, it's a well-executed onside kick, but I go back to Singleton. I know you're excited to hit somebody, especially the kicker, but you got to grab the ball. That's the most important part.
It's going deep. It's McNeil. He's got it. Douglas McNeil with a tremendous catch.
Great positioning on the throw by Southwick, putting it in a spot. He kind of underthrows McNeil right here, and nice protection right there, allows him to get a full drop. But he sort of underthrows him, because he knows that his receiver's got a little bit of separation. He can curl into the ball coming and protect himself. Meanwhile, on the outside, Howard is clearing out his defender, so a well-positioned throw right there by Southwick, and Portland knocking on the door again.
Southwick looking end zone, trying to get it. Looks like it could have been a hold, but there's no flag. Fans were screaming for a holding penalty, but they don't get one. Rodgers didn't seem too upset, but boy, Matthew Salk is upset about it.
And that's what Jeremy Kellum does. We've seen it on an earlier corner route where he just sort of rides the back pocket. Sure, there's always a little bumping that goes on right there, but if you're Rodgers, you got to make it look, I hate to say you got to act a little bit, but you got to give the officials a little bit of a struggle look right there. And
yeah, they don't fine you for flopping in this league.
No, they don't.
So McNeil will be in high motion. Let's see if he can find the end zone. And here's Southwick trying to run. He's brought down, loss of about a yard. You can see Marcus Pittman there, number 70, making a stop. Defensive lineman. He set an Arizona record with 8.5 sacks in both 2011 and 2012.
Well, pressure's really been the biggest thing that the defense has done for Arizona. The fact that they've kept Southwick uncomfortable on some of those dropbacks, especially in the red zone, that's really helped pressure this Arizona defense. That's last in the league in yards and touchdowns.
Jamar Howard was the high motion man. It comes out once again to Rodgers. Rodgers is going to be stopped very quickly, so it will be 4th down. Making the stop was Kerry Reed. Marquise Floyd as well. We've come to the 1-minute warning, so we'll step aside and come back and see if the Thunder can extend this drive and once again find the end zone. 26-14, Arizona on top. 14. It is Arizona leading Portland. Hey, if you like that TD catch by Eric Rogers a few minutes ago, know that it's not too late to get season tickets. Call 503-303-7137 for more information. 5 home games still to go. Affordable ticket packages still available. Go to PortlandThunder.com or call 503-303-7137 for more information. 4th down play, big for Portland.
4th and 6, not a lot of room to work with. It's really going to come down to the protection that the offensive line provides here because the receivers have been able to get open for Portland. Southwick just hasn't had as much time in the pocket as he would like.
Gene Gillis, Simmons, Daniels, the line. Southwick gets free, throws, ends up now picked off. 4th turnover of the night. Marquise Floyd, his 3rd pick of the night. He might go all the way. He's still on his feet. One man to beat. And he's brought down. It is a touchdown-saving tackle by center Stanley Daniels. Wow, what a turn of events right there.
Protection, Scott. That's what it came down to. Southwick he did all that he could to get out of the pocket, try to deliver a throw to Howard coming across. He was just a little too late on the throw, and that was because of the pressure. Marquise Floyd just being in the right spot at the right time tonight, and right here, pocket breaks down. Southwick has a scramble, gets a hand on him. He's avoiding the hit right here, but just a little too late on the throw, and that's because he was out of his comfort zone in the pocket, which threw out the timing of the route. And Arizona, for a team that doesn't really on defense, they're having their way with Portland tonight. As another running play by Arizona right here.
To use the clock a little bit because you do not want to score quickly enough that you give Portland time to go down and do something with the football. And
yes, the last minute, especially when the clock stops, is the biggest chess match of these games right here. And you oftentimes hear the 2-for-1 mentality in the NBA when you've got the 24-second shot clock. Same thing here. If you're Arizona, you have a chance to either maybe score here and then stop Portland real quickly and maybe get one more possession. But Arizona, I think they've got a 26-14 lead right now. They've forced 4 turnovers. Let's try to get one more score before the half ends. Put ourselves in a good position. They will get the ball to start the second half also.
Yeah. Marquise Floyd tonight on defense is unbelievable. You just see Davila's numbers. He has 3 picks tonight. He didn't have any all season long coming into this one. But he now has 45 career interceptions, moving up on that top 10 list, AFL career-wise.
When I was in Seattle with him, he was a player the coaches loved. He played with tremendous heart, was one of the hardest workers out there, and he kept everybody honest. Whether he was a veteran receiver, you knew he was going to bring his A game every day, and it's transitioned to a lot of success in the Arena League for him.
Davila getting himself lots of room, now throws it away. Again, using clock and presenting a souvenir for a fan.
Would-be souvenir. He gets booed out of the building right here as
dropping it.
Cascade of disappointment comes raining down on him, and then he drops it again right there. You got to pay attention up there.
Yeah, but
this is Arena League football. It's coming in hot every single time.
They threw it up. He did drop it again, but this time he gets to keep it.
I don't think you should keep it if you dropped it first. That was right to him.
Yeah, Davila wouldn't miss. So now there's 24 seconds left. 3rd and goal. They will try to score on this one. Now there's a whistle, which will stop the play. I believe, well, we'll wait and see. Nick Davila.
Might be against Portland. We'll see. Thought I saw a DB jump across the line real quick.
Defense number 24, unabated. Half the distance to the goal. 3rd down.
It's Portland, it is.
Doesn't hurt you too much in the red zone here, though.
In fact, you give them less room to work. Now, I wouldn't be surprised, though, to see Alex Singleton, the big fella, come in. He has 6 rushing touchdowns, and they're on the 2.
That's what you said. 30 carries this year, and he's a big-bodied back. You could say the fullback, 5'11", 275.
And if he doesn't make it the first time, that's okay for them, and then they try again. I'm predicting right now Alex Singleton will get the football. No, it's not. It goes to Purify, and he is stopped short of the end zone. Purify held out of the zone. Good D for Portland.
Arizona with 3 timeouts still. Portland burning another one.
16 seconds left. This will be a 4th down play. So this is huge for Portland to stay in the game and stay only 2 possessions down. Because as you mentioned accurately, it will be the Rattlers get the football to start the second half.
Well, a score here by Arizona and then a score in the opening drive would quickly put this game out of reach for Portland. You're staring at potentially 40-14 before you even get the ball back, and we've seen how quickly Arizona can score. So this right here is the biggest defensive play of the game thus far for the Thunder.
To stay in it. The crowd coming alive, trying to urge that defense on. P.J. Fatinikin talking to the defensive players. Right up front, Dante Page-Moss. Brandon Tess, the former Duck. Antron Dillon, the front.
I don't think you risk the rush with Singleton right here. You want to give something with a couple options.
And it's a touchdown to Rod Windsor. 5th touchdown pass of the night for Davila.
It's exactly what you wanted to avoid. If you were Portland, they just send Windsor out on the flat right there and do 2 layers. So they send the 2 receivers deeper in the end zone to draw the attention of the DB. Meanwhile, Windsor looks like he's going to chip block right here and just flares out to the right there in the flat, and easy catch and throw.
Well, you're seeing a well-oiled machine in this Arizona team. You see why they've played in 3 straight Arena Bowls and why they've won the last 2 and maybe marching toward. They're off to their best start ever, by the way. And this is a storied franchise. It's played in 8 Arena Bowls in its 22-year history. It has won 4 titles, including the last 2. Very impressive.
Clearly the best offensive team in the league. You've got most likely the best quarterback in Nick Davila and 2 fantastic receivers. And the last 5 Arena Bowls, we see Arizona in 2 of them. Arizona lost in 2011 to Jacksonville. Spokane
on a last-second play, by the way, and the score was unbelievable. Both teams scored in the 70s.
So you've got a mini dynasty brewing here for the Rattlers, and it's 33-14 for Portland. When you go into this locker room, regardless of what happens on this drive, you love a score here. You can't be too disappointed because you're not playing your best football right now. You have 4 turnovers, and in a game of possessions, you can't give Arizona 4 extra shots to score. They're just going to hurt you too often. I am surprised that Portland, other than the onside kick, hasn't forced a turnover because they lead the league in takeaways.
Yeah, Arizona last week at Jacksonville won 70-61, an 11th straight win going back to last season. That game was tied 42-all at halftime. Both teams scoring every time they touched the ball. Arizona, in fact, scored the first 10 times they had they had the football. The only time they didn't score was when they were running out the clock in the final seconds.
Well, this is an offense that, as you said earlier, a well-oiled machine. They only have 5 turnovers all season, so that should let you know how impressive they are. Portland has 4 in this half already.
The kick comes to Brooks. Takes it a yard or 2 deep, but here he comes. Needs to run it back all the way. That's what he'd like to do. Gets a couple of blocks. As the time runs out on the half, he is brought down at the 22-yard line. But first half has come to an end. It's a half that certainly Thunder fans are a little disappointed by. The 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and 1 fumble recovery. And the officials actually are calling both teams out on the field again. I think we have a flag, and let's see. Hold on just a moment.
Previous play, the clock should have started when the receiver touched the ball in the field of play. There are 4 seconds remaining in the second quarter. 4 seconds on the game clock.
Okay, so the clock started early, so the Thunder will have 1 play. Basically, 4 seconds on the clock.
Anything can happen, and
they'll take it.
You certainly will. I mean, throw, jump ball in the end zone. You've got 2 tall receivers, and Rodgers.
You know, just throw it out. Just throw it out and let Rodgers go catch it up in the stands.
Exactly.
That might be the best play of the night.
Well, obviously, if you're Arizona, you're going to drop back all of your DBs into the end zone and just play a simple prevent defense. And you still got to get pressure on the quarterback, though. You can't give him all day to try to pick his spot and get a nice throw up there. So interesting to see what Portland's going to do. Do they try to bounce it off the net?
They're going to try a field goal, actually, is what they're going to do. Nick Braunstein. And this is going to be interesting because, well, I guess that the big screen will not be an issue because he's up at midfield. But this is a field goal attempt, and Braunstein is 3 of 3 on the year. His 3 field goals is tied for 4th most in the AFL.
Yeah, the jumbo screen won't be a factor. He's not going to be kicking it that high, but field goals are tough. You've only got 9 feet of space with the uprights right there, so you don't get a chance to put a whole lot of English on this left or right, and not a great margin of error right here.
His longest field goal of the season is 27 yards, and this is going to be significantly farther than that.
He's got the leg for it, though.
He does.
They just need a good snap, a good hold right here. But keep an eye on Brown in the back for Arizona, because any missed field goal is live off the net, and you usually got your big-bodied guys up here that don't cover typically.
Southwick to hold. Braunstein, it's blocked, and it's in play, and this could be trouble. Braunstein forces him out of bounds. You know, you got to love the grit of Michael Braunstein, only 5'7", 192, and he makes his second tackle of the night, this one after the blocked field goal try.
And these field goals are tough because you've got to be able to get a further snap back than that. I mean, these snaps are only 5 yards deep, and you just don't have enough of a chance for the ball to get over the line. And Braunstein, though, he's a bullet for Floyd right here. Does all that he can to force him out of bounds against the wall.
All right, let's go down on the field to Megan Berry, standing by with Coach Matthew Sock.
Yeah, Coach, heading back into the locker room, what is your message to the offensive line? Seems to be a bit of miscommunication out there with Southwick feeling the pressure.
They're a good defensive line. They're going to bring it. We just can't miss open wideouts, and we have to make a catch. I mean, if you look back at this first half, we're missing the catches and we're missing the throws.
Of course, and points off of turnovers have hurt you also in the first half. What adjustments do you look to make to regain composure in the second?
Again, just make the plays when they're there to be made. I mean, you literally look back at this first half. It's not them stopping us. It's literally us not making the catch or us not throwing a proper ball and all that stuff. I mean, that's really what it's come down to.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. 33-14, the halftime score. Turnovers cannot possibly continue for Portland to have a chance. They've got to fight back. And I think that we'll see a much different Portland team in the second half. At least that's the hope for the hometown fans. 33-14, Arizona. Here at halftime, it's 33-14. Arizona on top of Portland. The Thunder, which has scored 60 points in back-to-back games, not on track for that here tonight. And Arizona, meantime, taking advantage of 4 turnovers for 4 touchdowns. As you can see, some of the action here right now at halftime, a little frisbee action going on. Hey, let's take just a second here to look behind the scenes in this first year of the Portland Thunder franchise. Sons of Thunder coming soon on Comcast Sports Now.
We've dedicated our whole life to this game. This is what we know. This is what we do. You've got to be a determined man to pursue this dream. Lord knows we've come a long way to get here.
Being away from your family is the hardest part. Sometimes you just got to focus on what you're doing for your family and for yourself. The struggle is real, though.
We're willing to sacrifice, struggle, fight to get what we believe in.
2012, one of the top defensive ends. I tear my ACL, and 2 years later, I'm working at Target. So when I'm out here on this field, that's why I'm so fired up. It's because I'm not working at Target no more, ever.
In fact, you're playing football. You're doing what you love.
It's gonna ride! It's gonna ride! I'll take it down! I'll take it down! I'll take it down! I'll take it down!
We are more than who you think we are. We are fathers. We are husbands. We are brothers. We are the Sons of Thunder. We are a family. We get one shot.
looks like it's going to be a very interesting show. Look forward to seeing that for sure. Scott Lynn along with Jordan Kent. Again, 33-14. We've talked a lot about this, but the turnovers. Speaking of thunder, I bet there's a little thunder going on from Matthew Salk in the locker room about right now.
Well, he's obviously upset about the fact that his receivers are missing some catches that should be out there. And for as well as Southwick is playing, there are some throws that he hasn't taken advantage of. But, Scott, I really think it comes down to the pressure that's forcing Southwick to throw the ball errantly on some of these routes, which in turn makes it tougher for the receivers to catch the ball.
Well, Eric Rogers certainly proved that he can catch the ball no matter where it's thrown. And we're going to take one more look at that as we head to break. We'll come back here with more analysis of the first half. Eric Rogers, Superman. Well, it's been a very nice day here, but tonight inside the Moda Center, not so nice if you're a Portland Thunder fan. Down 33-14 at halftime. Again, turnovers a big story. We'll talk about that, but certainly also the play of Nick Davila. We talked right at the outset tonight that this is a red-hot quarterback. 28 touchdowns and only 1 interception in his previous 3 games. Tonight, 5 TDs, no picks. He's just on a great roll.
Well, it's really just been his ability to set himself up in the pocket and hit his big-time playmakers down the field. And it started early in this game. Right off the very first turnover, Davila able to connect with Windsor right over the top. And what he does is he gets the ball into positions where his receivers can only make the play. So whether that's right into their chest when they're running a slant route or outside far enough on a corner route to where his receivers can make diving catches, that's what makes Davila so good, is being able to drop back so quickly and deliver the ball on time.
And then a guy that you spent a little time with, Marquise Floyd. I mentioned earlier he had no interceptions coming into this game tonight. He has 3. Impressive.
Well, he's just been opportunistic. He's been there around the ball, trying to be a playmaker. And the first pick coming off the back of the backstop right there, Floyd able to get his hands on it, make a big play. And usually in this league, Scott, being at the right place at the right time is going to lead to a lot of these picks. And he's just been very active, and he's able to keep his eyes on the quarterback bet. As well as Floyd has done, it really comes down to the protection for the Portland Thunder. And I know Coach Salk is talking to his team right now saying we have to protect Southwick in the pocket. We cannot let these plays break down like they have been, forcing him to throw bad throws.
Tonight's halftime stats are presented by Les Schwab, and you can see again, the yardage is, Thunder might have more yardage, but that quick strike ability of Davila and the Rattlers has definitely been a difference.
Well, they don't have a long field either because of those Portland turnovers. They're getting the ball on the Portland side of the field right there in their own territory, which means they don't really have to force these long drives. It's 1 or 2 quick completions and boom, they're right in the end zone. So Portland still is in this thing. You have to get a stop or force some sort of turnover. This defense has been very opportunistic all season long. It's time for them to step up and do that. And offensively, you gotta buy more time for Southwick. It all boils down to that.
All right, do you expect that to happen? Can it happen against a team this good?
I think it can. I mean, obviously, Coach Salk was giving a lot of credit to the defensive line of the Rattlers, but I think what we're seeing are a lot of longer routes being a lot of longer routes for the Thunder, but this Portland defense, they're going to have to step up to start the second half.
Well, Mr. Huey proved to be tough to stop, and so are the Rattlers. At least in the first half they were. How will the second half go? We'll find out together here on Comcast Sportsnet. Welcome back to the Moda Center. Scott Lynn along with Jordan Kent and Megan Berry, and we're just about ready to get the second half underway. The Thunder, as we mentioned, will be playing at on the road next game, but they will be back here a week from Thursday, and these are all on Comcast Sportsnet. You have San Antonio, then Arizona's right back in town, and then it's New Orleans, the LA Kiss, and Spokane. I mean, it really is not easy anywhere you go. LA Kiss, of course, if you're new to the Arena League, the other expansion team. So, and they have just the 1 win so far this year. So, you know, the Thunder looking forward. There are winnable games there, but tonight, work to do against the best team in the league.
Well, usually we're talking about the quarterbacks having to deliver more accurate throws, the receivers having to get open, and those are things Coach Salk talked about. But this comes down to the offensive line, Scott. They've got to get a little bit more protection because, as we were saying before the break, Portland has shifted their offense to one that has longer routes that take more time to develop. And when that happens, you need more protection for your quarterback. And so much of this league boils down to Can you protect your quarterback? Can you stay in the pocket? Can you get his throws out on time? And the balls that Portland has turned over, it's usually been because the play has broken down and Southwick is having to scramble and not able to get his feet set and deliver it accurately.
All right, let's go down on the field to Megan Berry. She's standing by with Coach Kevin Guy.
Yeah, guys, coming in, getting ready for the second half here. Coach, what was your message to the team with the lead?
Well, we just need to keep our foot on the gas pedal, and play Rattler football and stay dialed in. This is a game that they can easily get back in it real easily. So we just need to make sure that we're, technique, fundamentals, taking care of the football and executing.
Coach Sock, giving your defensive line a lot of credit tonight. What do you have to say on that?
Well, they're doing a great job. I mean, we're getting pressure. Our guys in the back. A lot of what happens up front is what's going on in the back. So we got 2 or 3 picks back there. We got 3 sacks. Our guys up front are doing a great job of applying pressure and forcing them in some bad throws.
Perfect. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you very much, Meg. And again, Kevin Guy is like Matthew Sock, a guy that has been inducted into the AF2 Hall of Fame. Both were inductees in 2009. I mentioned earlier that Matthew played for Kevin Guy in 2008 when he was Arizona quarterback. So there are a lot of connections here between Arizona and Portland. Matthew Sock, as I mentioned, has mentored Nick Davila in the past. Dwight McLean, by the way, played in 8 games for Arizona in 2012. Michael Bronstein attended Gilbert High School down in Arizona. And then Darius Simmons, offensive lineman for Portland, started 9 games over 2 seasons at Arizona State. So there are a lot of connections in between these two teams.
Well, when there's so many transactions in this league, you're going to cross a lot of paths, and there's going to be a lot of familiarity between these opponents. And even with Portland being an expansion team, as you read right there, there's a lot of guys that have ties to Arizona or have had some sort of time with the Rattlers. But how much does that help going into tonight? Who knows? But for Portland, the good news is a lot of what's going on is stuff that's within their control. It's not Arizona just absolutely overpowering and dominating them and out-executing them. It's Portland just failing to play good football right now. And you take away 2 of those turnovers and create scores, they're still in this thing.
Bronstein to kick it off. It's Nick Miller back to take it. It is coming off the net. He fields it cleanly, and he is coming big time. And Darren Thomas is out there, but Bryce Pila was the first to get to him.
And Pila's been such a stud on special teams for Portland this season, and we saw him a couple home games ago where there's a lot of Bronstein's kicks bouncing off the uprights and becoming live balls that Pila was rushing down there, making a play on it or hitting the first guy trying to get there and always trying to mix it up. And the coaches love his hustle, and that's what you need with somebody on special teams.
Pila has a takeaway in every game, forced a fumble and made a recovery at Tampa Bay last week. He has 4 interceptions, tied for 7th in the Arena Football League, and 3 fumble recoveries, tied for number 1 in the Arena League. He needs to pick something off here. But instead, it's a pass to Windsor. He's brought down by Varmasoni, but it's another quick hitting play, big yardage, and here they come again.
Purify coming up limping a little bit after that play. He's not looking as mobile, but Davila right there, set your feet, get the ball, put it right on the chest, your big body receiver, Windsor. That's what Portland hasn't been able to do recently.
Windsor's second-team All-Arena last season. Davila's numbers there, 7 of 10, 5 touchdowns. Windsor has amassed more than 6,000 yards in just 3.5 seasons. That's because this guy throws it to him a lot. The pass to Purify is going to be a penalty called, and the Thunder do not like it. Varmasoni and Eric Crocker letting the official know it. Defensive penalty.
10-yard
Anytime as a defensive back, when you go over the back of the receiver and go through the receiver to make a play, they're going to call that. And it's such a bang-bang quick hitter play, and you can get called either way, but they're looking at that back right arm on the receiver. And if you can keep that arm off the receiver and make that play with the left arm, then you're okay. But anytime you put that arm on the back side of the receiver, they're going to call you for a push or an interference every single time.
Eric Crocker, number 2, 5 interceptions, leads this Thunder team. He's tied for 5th in the Arena League. You'd like to pick one off here for sure. Down some possessions here. You got to steal the ball at some point. Davila throws to the end zone. It's up for grabs. No good. The pass intended for Nick Miller, defended by Varmasoni.
And what we've seen from these defensive backs for the Thunder is that when they can get in position and be in the back pocket or in the hip of a lot of these other opponents, they're able to make great plays. And right there, you're just in the right position at the right time, and it's tough for the receiver to make a play, but they're getting a little lost in their coverages deeper down the field. That's why Arizona's been able to have so many easy completions, and they just have to get back to playing a little bit more discipline.
By the way, that first catch by Windsor this half gives him 500 catches for his Arena League career. And now Davila throws, end zone, nearly picked off by Crocker. Oh, man, Eric Crocker had a shot at it.
And those are those passes, Coach Sock was mentioning them on the offensive side of the ball, that we get our hands on balls, we have to come down with the catch. That's one on defense right there, where when you're down 33-14, sure, it's a great PBU pass breakup, but you want to come down with that pick, because then you halt their momentum and you give your offense new life to go down the field and start to close the gap.
You can't trade scores at this point. Not down 19.
Nobody's able to trade scores with this Arizona team.
One more time, Thunder fans, keep it loud.
Jacksonville found that out last week. Now Davila throws. It is complete to Miller. He's stopped just inside the 5.
Pass complete to number 5, Nick Miller.
So fourth down play coming up.
Brought down by number 24.
Absolutely have to keep him out of the end zone here.
Well, what Arizona did last time on this was that they sent Windsor sort of block on the edge, and then he just bursts out to the flat, a typical route that you see from a tight end when you're looking at 11-man football. So if you're Portland, really protect those edges and those perimeters, because there's not enough space for anything to develop in the middle of the field. So I would just fan out as wide as I could on defense.
Davila looking end zone, throws, Windsor, catch, touchdown. Again, his third touchdown catch of the night. He now has 16 catches for touchdowns this season, and Davila, unbelievable. 6th touchdown throw of the night. He now has 63 touchdowns and 4 picks on the season.
And that's just a beautiful ball that's thrown right there. Windsor's going to take a really deep drop back, throw this one, and just loft it up there and give his receiver, Windsor, plenty of time to just elevate and make the play. And Windsor was the man in motion, and when he's on the left side of the field coming into motion, you have to think if he's going to go anywhere with a full head of steam, it's going to be across the field, and you've got to take that option away for him.
Casey Barth with the point after, up and good. So just like that, it's 40-14. Another touchdown throw and catch. Davila to Windsor. We'll be right back, 40-14. Tonight's Portland Thunder game is presented by Standard TV and Appliance. Here at the Moda Center, 10:45 left in the third quarter, and it's Arizona now on top 40-14. The Rattlers have scored every time they had the football today.
Well, when Portland turned it over late in the second quarter, this was our worst case scenario, was Arizona scoring right before half and then scoring on the first possession. That's what they did there. And they just got to get some momentum going on offense. Let's see if they can do that as McLean making a couple players miss here.
Yeah, brings it out to about the 12, 13-yard line. He is finally tackled by our Keith Brown. But now it's back to work for Danny Southwick in his first game here at the Moda Center. He, again, had 3 games on the road at Los Angeles, at Spokane, at Tampa Bay. You see his numbers there. 204 yards is impressive, but the 3 interceptions, not good.
Well, of those 3, 1 I really pin on him, but 2 of those came on 4th down.
Right.
He was trying to force the ball. The other one, the pocket collapsed on him, and he was just a little late on his throw in the crossing route to Howard. And the first one, that was just a matter of Rogers tripping up and not being able to jump up and make a play. The ball bounces up off the upright.
He passes. It is complete to Eric Rogers. Near first down territory. I think just a yard shy. It'll be 2nd down and 1. Rogers with another catch.
Eric
Rogers out of Cal Lutheran. Broke school records there for scoring and receiving. You can see Danny Southwick's first half. That's a nice throw right there.
Well, when he can, a lot of times he was getting out of the pocket to save himself from the pressure and setting his feet. And the most success he had was getting the ball deeper down the field to his receivers in the middle and letting them make plays. But where the bad plays happened, he was having to force it on 4th down just to try and get the first down yardage. Or here the pocket collapses and he's a little late on his throw because the timing gets thrown off. So I really wouldn't fault him for having those 3 interceptions because there's kind of something screwy that's happened on all of them. So if I'm watching this game and evaluating Southwick, I'm still really happy with how he's doing because he's been accurate in delivering his ball when he has protection.
There was a penalty against Arizona on the play, so it's first down. Southwick on the move, gets rid of it. Brooks catch and score. Boy, did the Thunder need that one.
Badly. That stops the bleeding right there, and they get a little bit of help from the penalty from Arizona, but there was more pressure on Southwick again, and these are longer developing routes, and they're not getting the ball out as quickly, and he's lucky there. Brooks is able to get open, but he gets his drop back. Option number 1 isn't open. Scampers out of the pocket, able to deliver and find Brooks on the run, and when he gets protection, gets bodies off of him, Southwick is accurate.
And Bronstein's point after is no good. He has struggled again the last game and a half with the point afters. But we'll take another look at that as the Thunder answers the initial score here of the second half. It is Southwick to Brooks. And the Thunder cuts the lead 40-20 here at the Moda Center. 40-20, the Rattlers lead the Thunder. Kickoff coming, maybe an onside kick. We'll see momentarily. Hey, the Thunder would like to thank all of our sponsors for their continued support. To find out how to become a sponsor, visit our webpage at portlandthunder.com or call 503-303-7137. I got to think onside kick coming maybe every time they score, but
I don't think so because
risky.
he's got the ball lined up to the side here, which is actually going to play to Portland's advantage because Arizona only has 1 man back returning. So if they can get a crazy bounce, they've got a chance to get a turnover here.
I like your thinking. And you were right. Let's see what happens. Can he get it off the net? Yes, he can. And Miller muffs, and now that's a good tackle. It'll come out. It's not a safety. We should point that out. It's not a score, but you try to return every kick. Couldn't get out of the end zone, no problem. They come out and they spot it.
Yeah, I don't think you want to risk the onside kick in this situation. And unfortunately for Bronstein, having the scoreboard lower takes away his ability to sort of drive the ball off the uprights through a middle of the field kick. And it's a lot tougher to hit that bottom crossbar and get a goofy bounce when you have to put so much height on it. But Portland special teams, and we keep saying it, Bryce Pila down there making the tackle.
So here's Davila under center. Throw complete to Reed. And McLean is right there to stop him, but not until he gets a first down.
And this is the drive where the Thunder defense really needs to step up and create a turnover. They haven't really done much to help the offense. For as anemic as the offense has been at times in this game, Scott, the defense hasn't really created any opportunities for the offense to get the ball back with a short field.
How much of this, though, is the quarterback and Davila's insistence on not throwing an interception?
What's the quarterback? It's the protection. It's the receivers being able to run routes and get open immediately. And a play like that takes half a second to develop, there's not much you can do as a defense against that.
Miller with the catch, short of the first down by about a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 1. There is a flag on the play, though. It might be coming back. We'll see. This Arizona team.
Offense number 66. Half the distance to the goal.
Jeff Maddox, the center, called for a penalty that'll bring it back.
Well, the usually polished Arizona Rattlers committing 2 penalties on the last 2 drives, one here and then another unsportsmanlike conduct when they're on defense that helped Portland get into scoring position. So this might be your chance if you're the Portland defense to start to finally hopefully get this Arizona team off the field for a drive for once.
They are backed up to the 7-yard line. Have to get to the 24 for a first down. First down. Obviously looking to try to get a takeaway at some point here. The pass goes out to Reed, and he dropped it. Tried for the one-hand catch, couldn't do it. Dwight McLean was defending.
And Davila is upset at somebody. I think he's upset at some of the protection because he had to get that ball out a little bit sooner than he wanted to, or he's upset at his receiver for not getting across the field as quickly as he should have.
It was interesting. Reed kind of just threw his left hand out there, and
it was kind of a lazy effort, to be honest. And I know if we were in our film room and our coaches saw that, whew,
yeah,
it tear us apart right there. You got to get 2 hands on the ball.
Gary Reed, number 15, is a guy that plays on both sides of the ball. He's the jack linebacker. He also is a receiver. Had 4 touchdown catches and a key breakup late in the game in the win at Jacksonville. And there he is with the catch right at the first down marker. And I think he's got the first down. Gary Reed, 4th year out of Michigan State. At Jacksonville, 7 catches, 85 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Varmasoni doing all that he can to deliver the big hit, but we've seen Davila so accurate on those corner throws, and when he gets into motion, we talked about this last game, the motion receiver, he's trying to create a two-way go on that DB, forcing the DB to guess where he's going to break, and these Arizona receivers are so dangerous in motion. The motion man's the guy catching the ball almost every single time, so keep your eye on him.
This is your time. Get loud.
Armasoni has 3 interceptions this year. He'd love to pick one off here. It's headed to the end zone, and it's off the wall, incomplete. Dwight McLean was back there defending. The pass intended for Reed.
Jeff Maddox down on the turf, though, grabbing his knee.
Oh, boy,
hopefully he's all right. Doesn't look good, though. Training staff will attend to him.
And we've talked about in arena football, you don't have a lot of guys sitting there on the bench waiting to come in. Cornelius Dixon, Joe Gibbs. But this does not look good for Jeff Maddox, the 4th year arena player out of Central Michigan. And he is their long snapper. Well, actually, their backup long snapper. Oh, boy. Hey, Soccer City PDX. That's an all-new show dedicated to the Portland Timbers and Thorns. Get to know more about the teams, the players, the fans, the teams, players, and fans in the community. Everything. Hey, coming up Monday, May 26th at 7 p.m. to Comcast Sportsnet. Timbers and Thorns playing at that. What a beautiful venue. I mean, the envy of the league.
Well, it's amazing how the Northwest between Portland and Seattle has embraced the MLS, and just the draws they get for their games are fantastic. I mean, there's nobody else in the league that even comes close.
Michael Huey is the backup center, and that pass is going to be caught. He's out of bounds. They'll move the change. Michael Huey, who is the long snapper, now moves over and is the center with the injury to Jeff Maddox. Maddox has had a tough night. He had that exchange earlier.
Yeah, the exchange on the snap, that was fumbled and loss of a down right there for Arizona. Then he had the personal foul that moved them back 7.5 yards, and then the injury. So you hope he's all right, obviously. And for Arizona, it's an experienced veteran team. Next man up, as you mentioned, Huey, he's going to be able to fill the need.
Let's put a stop to him right now. Get loud.
To the end zone and a wide open Rod Windsor. Another touchdown catch.
That was a nasty little double move by Windsor right there. Absolutely just left Dwight McLean in his dust right there, as Nick Miller with a few choice words from McLean after that.
Windsor with his 4th touchdown reception of the night.
And Windsor, he's going to sell the corner route, going to try and get McLean to turn his hips and then come back to the post, and just a walk in the park right there playing catch.
17 touchdown catches now this season, 4 tonight for Rod Windsor, number 1, 4th year player out of Western New Mexico. He had a franchise record 193 receptions for close to 2,400 yards back in 2010. As that kick is good by Barth, adding to the frustration of the Portland Thunder and their fans. 47-20 with 4:27 left in the third. Don't go away. Still a lot of football to go here at the Moda Center tonight. Welcome back, everybody. 47-20, Arizona leading for them. 4:27 left, third quarter. Let's check in with Megan Berry, get an injury update on Arizona center Jeff Maddox.
Yeah, guys, I just spoke with Coach Guy on Maddox's condition right now, and he said, unfortunately, he doesn't have any news from the trainer, but I did run into them in the hallway, and Maddox was being carted away on a stretcher. Did not look good, guys. Is calling it maybe a knee or left lower leg injury.
Yeah, it definitely did not look good. Right you are on that, and you hate to hear that.
You really do. We see a lot of these offensive linemen get rolled up on, and unfortunately that's the nature of this game and the sacrifice that these players make. And whether it's the highest level of the NFL, the AFL, or even down to the high school levels, it's a dangerous game, but the players understand the risk that they take. And for Arizona, we said next man up, and apparently they were able to fill that void and able to finish that touchdown drive.
Nice return by Dwayne Brooks. Gives The Thunder, nice field position out to the 15-yard line. Southwick's numbers, 3 TDs, but 3 interceptions. And here comes Portland with McNeil in motion. It's looking his way. He's caught it at midfield. First down to the 24-yard line of the Rattlers.
We hadn't called McNeil's name in a little while, and Southwick gets his protection like he needs and just is able to deliver an on-time, accurate throw to McNeil. McNeil running a nice route, getting his depth and out of his break right there. And for Portland, I think that's really going to be the key the rest of the season for them, is providing protection for Southwick and having clean center to quarterback snap exchange. They're going to be fine.
Big trouble, fumble football. It is covered up. I want to say Adarius Simmons fell on the football, and he did, as Southwick took a licking after he dropped the football, or as he dropped it. There's a flag on the play as well. Southwick's wondering what day it is, I think.
Well, it is Mother's Day, and I'm sure his mother's concerned after that hit right there, but this one's just going to come on the outside. Unfortunately, Adarius Simmons loses the contain.
Cliff Dukes put the Duke on him.
And you usually don't see a defensive lineman get that clean of a hit on the quarterback in this league, and it goes back to, I think, what Sock is telling Southwick is you got to get rid of the ball. This is uncharacteristic to see him hanging onto the ball this long in the pocket each time. You compare his time in the pocket to Davila's, and it's night and day. Davila's just getting the ball out of there really quickly.
Southwick and Matthew Sock. It'll be second down. Second down and 10.
Portland very fortunate that they recovered that fumble. That was the thing I think that went unsaid right there.
Adarius Simmons.
Southwick took quite the licking right there, and you ooh and ah at the hit, but heads up play by the Thunder to jump on that ball, because as you know, 2nd and 15 is nothing in this league.
Southwick does get rid of it. The pass is off the back of number 20, Jeremy Kellum. It was intended for Eric Rogers. A little bit more air under that ball, and maybe it's 6.
I think so, and I'd be interested to see the replay. It looks like they kind of got away with a little bit of a shove right there. Jeremy Kellum, he's been very close to the receivers all the way down the field, and pocket closes a little bit on Southwick, isn't able to get as much air on it, but you see that right arm extend by Kellum right there. That could have been a little interference call, but the officials keeping quiet with their whistles on that one.
Southwick throws. McNeil, first down. Defended by Kellum, but a nice catch by McNeil, and the Thunder certainly needed that. Scott Lynn, Jordan Kent, Megan Berry with you here. Arizona leading Portland 47-20.
Well, Southwick able to get his bearings back a little bit after that big hit, and as we've seen from McLean, he does a wonderful job of flattening out his corner routes, which allows Southwick to just deliver a more deliberate throw. Doesn't have to put as much air underneath it. He can just send it to him on a laser right there, and able to get the completion and hit the pads and hang on to the ball.
You can see tonight McNeil now with 112 yards receiving. Another 100-yard game for a Thunder receiver, and now Southwick needs to get rid of the ball, throws it away. McNeil now has 3 100-yard games with the Thunder. He had 108 yards against San Jose last month, and of course we mentioned earlier the franchise record 154-yard receiving game on 12 receptions, 4 touchdowns at Jacksonville 2 weeks ago.
We've got to give some credit to this Arizona defense also, one that was coming into this game last in the league in points allowed and yards allowed. And Kevin Guy was saying the pressure up front was helping his secondary, but I'm starting to think the secondary's coverage is helping the guys up front provide more pressure, because we're starting to see Southwick look off his first and second reads.
And down he goes, Cliff Dukes with another sack.
Dukes, the former Michigan State Spartan.
He's getting in that backfield, my friend.
Yeah, he's been on Southwick more than his jersey right now, this drive right here. And more miscommunication on the offensive line, and that has to be figured out, because you just can't let your quarterback take this many hits in a game, Scott.
6'4", 295, the 6th-year Arena League player out of Michigan State, Dukes. Southwick, we haven't mentioned, he is the stepson of Larry King, the late-night talk show host, the former CNN host. And let's see if he can get a touchdown right here. Oh, look out. Eric Rogers has made some spectacular catches. That would have been really spectacular.
And Coach Salk shaking his head because that's just a catch and throw right there. Rogers was wide open. Southwick just puts way too much air on this ball. No reason to sail this. I mean, Rogers is in his own area code by himself right here.
So Danny Southwick fails to connect with Eric Rogers, and we've come to the end of the third quarter. 27-point deficit. Can the Thunder make it interesting in this last quarter? We'll see. 47-20 is the score as we head to the final 15.
The Arizona.
We head to the fourth quarter. Rattlers leading the Thunder 47-20. Hey, if you're looking for a fundraising opportunity, call our group sales department. Our group sales department works with local teams, nonprofits, and schools to help raise money for our community. Call them at 503-303-7137. 503-303-7137. Scott Lynn, Jordan Kent, Megan Berry. Let's take another look at that last play as you have to wonder if Eric Rogers is okay after this.
Keep an eye on his head, hits the railing really hard, and I know those helmets protect you, but that still doesn't feel good, and I don't know if that's pain or frustration afterwards. And
I'm thinking pain.
I'm thinking pain also, and it's those corners, as we mentioned, even though there's a little bit of padding on those rails, still not a soft landing whatsoever. But we've seen Rogers go up and over the wall before and bounce right back up, but it's a big fourth down right here. Big fourth down for the Thunder.
And McNeil in high motion. Southwick looks his way, and it's almost picked off. Kellum was there, had good defense, and the Thunder will turn it over.
Coach Salk frustrated because I think he had a wide open Eric Rogers on the other side of the field right there. And a lot of times, if you're going to throw a corner route on a short field like this, Scott, you can't wait that long in the pocket. The ball has to beat your player there, and you can't have your receiver and the DB arriving at the same time as the ball. It just makes it really tough. So Coach Salk shaking his head a couple times. We've seen great play from Danny Southwick, but at the same time, I'm sure he's probably hoping when will Rowley get healthy. A couple of these throws that Southwick has missed on, we saw Rowley hit pretty accurately.
7 touchdowns tonight for that guy. We told you at the outset he's pretty special, and he's proven it. Came in as the 9th all-time quarterback, 499 career touchdown passes, but with 7 tonight, he's about to move up the charts again. Antron Dillon with the stop. Antron, we mentioned earlier, back for the first time in a long time. His last game was the 3rd game of the season. He had a right thumb injury. And the last game he played was that game at Los Angeles in Game 3 of the year. Nice to have him back.
He's got the club wrapped up in his arm right there, so it's a little bit harder to wrap up or to pick off a pass or anything like that, but he's out there, he's playing tough.
Reed with the catch. Bryce Pila, Dwight McLean make the stop. Make it 3rd down, I should say. 3rd down and 1. Well, it's got to be tough to continue to play at this point. I mean, obviously you play till the clock runs out of time, but it's frustrating because you know that Arizona's not going to make a mistake.
You're not going to make up 27 points in Arizona in one quarter. That's just the fact. There's a reason why they're 7-0. They're going to play smart. They're going to continue to execute because they are the class of the AFL.
Windsor with the catch for a first down. Varmasoni with the tackle. So what do you do if you're Portland? You're working on your stuff?
I think you still continue to work on your schemes and you work on your alignment on defense, and you try to provide some good game film that you can go back to and learn from when you watch film this next week and say, all right, first half we didn't do X, Y, and Z well, but you look at the second half, we executed these things. This is the way we need you to play. This is the type of Thunder football that we expect week in, week out. And if you're going to be one of the better or more elite teams in this league, you have to play better consistently.
And here's the big guy, Alex Singleton. Tough to bring down. Still up there. And a big, big run for Alex Singleton. I mentioned earlier, 30 carries coming into this game. He's had a couple here and averaging at 1.9 per carry. That'll up that average a little bit right there.
Yeah, once that 275-pound body gets rolling, it's not a lot of people are going to get in his way right there. And Arizona showing a little bit of everything this drive. They're being a little bit more patient in and out of their huddle and just trying to eat up as much clock as they possibly can. They know that they control this game, and no reason for them to create any silly turnovers and let Portland do something crazy, get back in this game.
Davila had 9 touchdown passes 3 games ago, 9 touchdown passes 2 games ago, 10 touchdown passes last week, and there is his 8th tonight. Kerry Reed with the catch.
These receivers for Arizona are just so good, Scott, and they are so effective at getting separation when they get in motion, and that's what they've been doing, has been picking Portland apart by just getting right on the toes of the DB and then breaking left or right. And Davila and that timing that he has with these receivers is so on point that it's just an easy completion every single time.
Kerry Reed, the touchdown, his 10th of the season. 13-yard pass from Davila, perfectly thrown. Very impressive. I think he's headed for the Arena League Hall of Fame at some point.
He has to be, and if you're Portland, you learn from this game against Arizona, and you did some good things, you did some bad things, and try to work on it those next 2 drives. And if you're Southwick, you know that you're still going to be the starter for the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. The injury, of course, to Rowley has pretty much made that clear. 11:21 left here in the 4th quarter, and it's now almost insurmountable. Certainly the Rattlers are the class of the league. And here comes a kick. Dwayne Brooks will try to return it. Plays it beautifully off the net. Can he get a block or 2? Gets across the 10, and he is brought down. I think Kerry Reed was the man that got him. Yes, it was. Reed does everything. Special teams, plays jack linebacker, plays wide receiver. He's all over the field.
The more you could do, they always used to say, and you see why this Arizona team is 7-0 in the class of the league, because they just don't make mistakes. They've scored every single scoring drive, haven't turned the ball over, whether that's been downs or a fumble or an interception, and you almost have to play a perfect game and then some to beat these guys.
The pass is complete. That's Jared, check that, Jamar Howard, and he's stopped by Alan Chapman. But I believe that's the first catch for Howard tonight, making a catch in his first game with Portland.
Well, the Portland receivers, it's been a revolving door this season. And you haven't even had a quarterback that's been back there consistently with them. And you see the difference between timing with quarterbacks and receivers that have played together, in the case of Arizona, as opposed to Portland, where they get open, but just some of those routes and those throws are just a little off to where that extra little bit of polish would have made a big difference, as Rodgers can't hold on to the pass right there from Southwick.
Crowd a little quiet here, and understandably so. You know, you look at the numbers that Davila puts up. I mean, there's no question that he is going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, coming into this game in just 4 seasons, well, 22,187 yards in his career. And now with 8 touchdowns tonight, 507 in his career.
He's a special player. And
he is.
When you're a team, you need players like that. As Rodgers is able to shake a defender and get down the field, and that's when he's at his best. And if you're Coach Sock, maybe take a look at the playbook this next week and try to write up a couple more things that gets Rodgers the ball in the flat or in that middle soft spot in the field, in between where the coverage layers are, and allow him to just do his thing. He's a big, dynamic, playmaking receiver, and give him space to make plays and elude defenders, and he's going to be successful.
He gets it to the 15, 1st and 10. 9-10 left here in the game. A flag on this play, and the pass intended once again, this time for Jamar Howard. But
2 flags.
There are a couple of flags down. We haven't had a ton of flags, but they've hurt each team, actually, on occasion.
Yeah, we'll credit Portland for cleaning that up as far as eliminating the penalties, especially on a lot of those drives where they were drive-killing penalties.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal formation, offense, guard was uncovered. Pass interference, defense number 24. Those penalties offset. Replay first down.
All right, Alan Chapman called for
just a long explanation for a redo.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
We're just going to do it.
Let's just redo it again.
Yep.
Thanks for letting us know, but let's give Portland another crack at this here.
You know, it's interesting. Arizona being last in the league in total defense, allowing 335 yards per game. They've actually given up some yards tonight, but again, some of those stats really are meaningless when all that really matters is the points on the scoreboard.
Well, Arizona scores so quickly that their opponents have the ball for so long as Rodgers and Southwick can't connect right there, and Rodgers is taking his. But the opponents that Arizona play, they have the ball for so long, so they're going to accumulate a lot of yards. And this Arizona defense does a great job of keeping them out of the end zone for the most part, especially in the case of Portland tonight. And they've created a lot more turnovers than they normally do. Marquise Floyd coming into this game with no interceptions. He has 3 tonight. So a breakout game for him.
Arizona allows 54.6 points per game. They rank 9th in the league in that department. That's going to improve after this one tonight. Southwick to the end zone for Brooks. No. Could not connect. Third down coming up.
I've really liked the positioning that their DBs have gotten in this game, where every time it seems that a Portland defender, on the majority of their corner routes or their out routes, there is a Rattler defender in his back pocket or on his hip riding him, not giving him a free release to get open, and makes it tough for Southwick. You have to be very, very, very accurate. You've got to be Nick Davila accurate to get some of those throws completed.
Southwick under center again. Throws to the end zone. A catch for score. Eric Rodgers with another touchdown reception.
Never hurts to keep scoring points regardless what the game looks like. You want to make your stats look good. You want to have some nice film that you can learn something from, that you can build off of. And Rodgers certainly making a claim as being one of the go-to receivers on this squad for the rest of the year. Now Portland just needs to keep him for the remainder of the year and hope that he doesn't get hurt, they trade him or lose him to any sort of transaction.
About 7 minutes left here when that score is made. It makes it 54-26, and now Braunstein to try the point after. No, they're going to go for 2, and they're not going to make it. TJ Fatinikin could not get in. He tried, again, trying to get as many points as you can, and because you know an onside kick is coming in all likelihood, because I know that Matthew Sock isn't going to give up. Break in the action. Will break as well. 54-26, 6:39 left. (54-26). The Rattlers expecting the onside kick. Nick Miller is back to take it if he does kick it long, but I think Michael Braunstein is thinking onside. The Thunder have recovered one onside kick tonight. They need to get another one here.
Well, you're down about 4 scores, and if you have enough luck to get 4 onside kicks, you better take this team to Vegas.
All right, and we would do that. I think Terry Emmert would do that if possible. There's the onside kick attempt, but this time it's covered up very well. Kerry Reed was the man on the spot, as he has been so often tonight in so many different areas. We understand that Nick Davila is done for the night after throwing 8 touchdown passes without an interception tonight. So you add those, it's 36 TD passes and 1 interception over the last 4 games. And you see the offensive stats here for Portland. Passing yards, 221. Total yards, 240. So the new quarterback is Jason Murrieta, third-year player in the Arena League. He hands to Singleton, and Singleton is brought down. Dante Page-Moss was the first to get him, and Bryce Pila came to help out. And it takes 2 guys to tackle the 5'11", 275 rookie out of Tulsa.
We don't have to see a lot of running plays, but this is certainly a guy that you can hand the ball to and expect him to get a couple yards each and every time. And it's good practice for the defense to get a different look that they're not used to seeing. And obviously from the Arizona perspective, anytime you can get your backup quarterback in there to get some reps and get used to the experience and being on the road, that's always helpful as well. But this is when coaches evaluate the heart of their players.
And that pass is up for grabs, and again, Kerry Reed comes down with it in the end zone. Another Arizona touchdown. They're up to 60 now on the scoreboard.
These receivers are just so difficult to stop for Arizona. They're big across the board, 6'2", 6'2", 6'4", all over 200 pounds. And when you can just get the ball up in the air over that, it's just a jump ball. And a lot of things that we typically see in the Moda Center, rebounds right here, that's what they're doing. They're just going over the smaller Portland DBs.
Marietta was just 1 of 4 for 10 yards with 1 touchdown coming into the game. So he has to feel very good about that. And he's the holder here now as Casey Barth lines up for the point after. He got it up and good. 61 to 26 is the score. With 4:56 left, the Thunder will have it when we come back.
Welcome back into the Moda Center where the Portland Thunder, they are falling to the Arizona Rattlers right now, 61-26. Joining me here right now, Arizona starting quarterback Nick Davila. Nick, what adjustments have you had to make tonight playing in the Moda Center with these tight curve end zones?
You know, as a quarterback, you got to make sure that you get rid of the ball earlier, and the receivers got to make sure we got to get to the middle of the field because we're running out of real estate. So we did a good job of that so far, and so looking good.
Yeah, obviously it doesn't seem to bother you tonight. You are done for the evening. 8 touchdown passes. Talk to me about your connection with the receiving corps.
You know, I've been with these guys for a while now. I'm throwing on time. They're getting open. Offensive line is doing a great job blocking for me. So, you know, it takes a team effort, and defense is getting stopped. So that's what we're going to try to keep doing every play, every series.
All right, thank you so much, Nick.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Megan. As you see, just so much success tonight for Davila. That is not unexpected. You know what's really impressed me tonight is really the defense. I mean, you look at the stats and, they're last in defense, but you gave a good explanation why.
Well, it's just because the teams that they face have the ball for so long because the Arizona offense scores so often and so quickly. And sure, they give up their yards, but when it comes time for Portland to get into the red zone, they're doing a remarkable job of keeping the Thunder out of the end zone and staying on the Portland receivers and not giving them anything easy. I mean, Portland's had maybe 2 or 3 easy touchdowns tonight, but they've had to work for a lot of their receptions. And if you're Arizona, you're very happy with how your secondary's played. I go back to, again, the pressure by the defensive front for Arizona really set the tone in this game.
You can see the numbers for the Thunder tonight as Southwick goes to throw, and he's going deep. And it was Howard out there, but it looked like he came up short. There is a flag on the play on the far side of the field.
Looks like Coach Sock is upset at Howard.
He says, keep going.
Keep going. I think he miscommunicated. Yep. Didn't know what he was doing on that play right there as he's telling him. Again, you just got to keep running.
Yeah, Howard was acquired from Cleveland this
Number
week.
19, Jack out of the box. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Some of the things we saw in the first week of the season where all those guys had just been in town for a week or so, just getting to know each other.
Well, it's tough to pick up the playbook that quickly. I remember when I got picked up by St. Louis mid-season and having to learn that playbook so quickly, it can be daunting sometimes. And when you're coming in, you've got to be able to know what you're doing and where you need to go because so many of these routes are based on timing and you being in the right spot. And take some reps.
Scott Lynn, Jordan Kent, Megan Barry, as that pass was nearly picked off by Chapman. Incomplete.
And Coach Sock then having some words with Southwick saying you need to look over to Howard right there. So this is the biggest difference between Arizona and Portland right here. We just heard from Davila the time he spent with his receivers, the timing. They've played so many more games together than this Portland unit. And a lot of those things where you're thinking and having to put that extra thought and pause and hesitate for that moment. Okay, did I run the right route? Am I making the right read? That's where you see all these miscommunication errors, and that's something Arizona doesn't have because they've been doing it so long.
The pass is complete. Brooks fighting, trying to get the first down. Let's see where they mark it. I think he's got the first down. Very, very close.
And that's what's going to separate great teams from average teams right there, Scott. The players all across the board, for the most part, everyone's talented. You got a couple outliers, sure. Davila really helps your case if you're coaching a team with him. But it comes down to what teams can execute all the small things effortlessly and flawlessly. And that's what Arizona does, and Portland's still trying to grasp.
3rd and inches. He throws in the direction of Howard. He comes down with it. Both guys do, but it'll be a good reception for Jamar Howard. You can see Kellum was right there with the hold of the ball as well.
Nice delivery by Southwick, getting the ball up high and behind for his receiver to make the play. A little back shoulder fade right here. When you've got a receiver that's taller than the DB, yeah, put it up for the big fella. Probably you want to get even more height than that on that play, but Howard redeeming himself from not finishing that route from earlier by making the tough catch here and able to come down with it and get points in great field position.
Southwick might try to run it in. Nope, now he throws, tried to dump it off to Rogers. It's an incomplete pass. And a souvenir is what that is.
And the fans love that. You know, when you come here, you've got a great chance for about 3 T-shirts, some beef jerky, a couple footballs being thrown into the stands.
Yeah, remember, a lot of games left as we head to the 1-minute warning here shortly. But we still have a lot of home games left. And that next game, by the way, we talked about it earlier, San Antonio, that's a winnable game, people. I mean, you know, you're playing the best team in the league tonight. Winning was a question to begin with. But when San Antonio comes to town a week from Thursday, there's a chance to win that one. The Talons are 1-7. We've come to the 1-minute warning, so there's a timeout on the field. We will come back and play the final minute here at the Moda Center. 61-26, Arizona leading Portland. Nice catch by Jamar Howard there. Back here for the final minute of this one between the Rattlers and the Thunder. It's 61-26, Arizona on top. Thunder with the football, trying to get in. Second down and goal at the 4. Danny Southwick throws, open, and a catch. Eric Rogers for the score. A nice night for Eric Rogers. And the Thunder get back on the scoreboard. 61-32 pending the point after.
You just try to do as much as you can in a positive fashion on offense and try to build that confidence. And every single play, every single possession is a learning experience for Southwick and Rogers, and the chance for them to develop more chemistry together. And looks like they're going to go for two here.
Okay. Rogers' third touchdown catch of the night. The first one was very memorable as he went over the boards. That might make the highlight reels again. He could have the catch of the week for the second week in a row in the AFL.
That first one was sensational. I think absolutely he's got a really good chance at that one. And again, it just comes down to the time spent between the
number 7, 5-yard penalty.
Quarterbacks and the receivers.
Replay the try.
The number of times that they can throw those routes in practice and then at game speed. And you learn those little nuances and you learn your timing and you can help sharpen and hone that. And it's just going to take time. That's all it is. That's really what's going to be what allows Portland to be a great team someday.
I think I mentioned 3 touchdowns. I think it's 4 touchdowns for Rogers here. I might have miscalculated.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
13 receptions for 152 yards and the 4 touchdowns. I forgot one of those from the first half. Yeah, he had the first one of the night. And now Southwick going for 2 to Brooks. Did not hold it. Would have got him to 34. Under a minute left here, 55.8 left. It's 61-32.
A little late on his timing there, just throws the ball behind Brooks and needs to just put that ball right on his numbers rather than letting Brooks reach outside his body to catch it, especially on a crossing route. Anything thrown behind on a player running a crossing route is almost always an incompletion. Those are very tough routes to adjust to.
Well, the Thunder next week have another tough task because they will go play at San Jose. So that's not easy. San Jose is 5-2. Check that, 5-3 on the season. That is a road game. But the next time that the Thunder are home is a week from Thursday. That is May 22nd, San Antonio. The 1-7 Talons will be here. And again, I like the Thunder's chances about that. Rogers with 4 touchdowns. Let's take a look at some of that, huh?
Well, Rogers, the first one's going to be the one that everyone remembers here. To help Portland get out to a great start in this game. Gets the ball in the middle of the field, makes the defender miss. But this is the one we all remember going up and over the wall. Almost taking out our cameraman right there. Stays on his feet. That was touchdown number 2. Then Southwick connecting with Rogers again. He's got very strong hands, able to secure the catch at the peak of the ball, where the ball lands. And then right here coming down, shaking off Kellum to make the catch. So you've got some playmakers here on this Portland offense. It's just a matter of sharpening things up, not turning the ball over. And Portland's defense, something they haven't done this game that they've done every single game this season, not able to create a turnover yet.
Thunder tried the onside kick, and again, this time, Kerry Reed again covers it. pretty easy hop right up into his midsection. And so now with just 53.8 left, down 61-32, the Thunder knows their fate, and they will look at the films. And, you know, other than the fact that Eric Rogers is going to like some of the stuff he sees, it's still going to be a tough film session, I would think.
Well, Coach Sock, a lot of his frustration was on the offense and just the lack of execution with some of the throws and some of the catches, and South really hitting the right read on some of his plays, and that's what you're going to get from a young quarterback. And I know Southwick has experience last year, but you mentioned he's already eclipsed his career stats this season so far, so and that's something Rowley can help him out with, but it just comes down to spending time with your receivers, as we keep mentioning. All right.
3 timeouts left for the Thunder, but certainly Coach Matthew Sock knows what is about to happen here, and that is that the Rattlers are going to improve to 8-0 on the season as they win their 12th consecutive game dating back to last year, and the Thunder will lose. The 2-game winning streak is history, and they will fall now to 2-6. Matthew Sock and
Final score.
Coach Kevin Guy gave each other some hugs moments ago.
61.
As the time runs out, 61-32 is the final here. It's been fun having you along here on this Mother's Day night. Jordan, great working with you, and Megan Barry, who's going to be talking with the coach here momentarily.
Absolutely, and I'd be remiss not to mention this. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, one of the most beautiful, amazing ladies I've ever known in my life. So happy Mother's Day, Mom. I know you're watching this. Thank you again for everything. And obviously for this Portland team, looking back at this game, there wasn't really anything Arizona did that took them out of their game. I just think when you play a better team, you have to play better. And Portland, unfortunately, did not play a game equivalent to what Arizona did.
All right, let's go down on the field to Megan Barry. She is standing by with the coach of the Rattlers, Kevin Guy.
Hi, guys. Yeah, thank you. Well, Coach, you guys remain undefeated tonight with a win here in Portland, and you still continue to be the league's top offensive team. Talk to me about this team's success.
Well, we got a bunch of winners in our locker room. These guys have been together now for 2 or 3 years. They know how to win. I really like what Portland's doing here. You know, they're going to be a good franchise, and Matt Sock's going to keep working with his group, and you know, I really like what they bring to the table, and I think there's good days ahead of them for them.
Davila continues to succeed for you. How is it with him and his receivers?
Well, you know, like I said, some of these our quarterback Nick and the receivers been together for a few years. They really got some good rhythm, and you know, our offensive line's doing a great job protecting. We get the ball out, and you know, so you know, it goes along with them growing together as a team. So I'm proud of them, and we're just gonna keep working, taking this thing one game at a time.
Of course, and obviously meshing a team like this, like you said, takes years and repetition. Your initial thoughts on this Portland Thunder team and advice to Danny Southwick moving forward?
Well, you just got to keep working, keep getting reps. You know, the more he sees defenses, he's going to continue to get better as a quarterback. I thought he was playing well coming into the game. You know, but sometimes you know, you take a step backwards to go forwards, and you know, I think Max Solid, he's done a good job of coaching quarterbacks. I think he'll do a great job with these guys, and they just got to keep believing in one another, and they'll continue to get better as a team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Megan Barry. And you look at this one and you say, okay, that's what Arizona does. Now what does Matthew Sock do in the week to get ready for next week?
Well, you've just got to look at the film with what Southwick did, and as he has a moment with his mom on Mother's Day right here. You look at the film and you just coach him. On this play, you made the right read. Good job. This play, we're giving you a minus. You didn't make the right read. And as you heard Coach Guy say from Arizona, it just comes down to reps. His quarterbacks and receivers have been together for years. The Portland quarterbacks and receivers have been together for days. That's what it comes down to.
And certainly the Thunder have not gone with one quarterback. It's 4 quarterbacks in the 8 games this year. So that's kind of part of the deal as well, I think, in those reps you talked about. We're going to step aside. We'll come back and get some final thoughts here at the Moda Center. 61-32, the Rattlers over the Thunder. Here at the Moda Center, things are winding down after the Arizona Rattlers defeated the Portland Thunder 61-32. Scott Lynn along with Jordan Kent. Again, we've said it pretty much throughout the evening, and we started the night saying it. This is the best team in the Arena Football League. It was a real treat to see how well they can play this game. They're at the top of the game right now for sure.
Well, the one thing we pointed out all evening long was the difference between Portland and Arizona was the fact that Arizona, their quarterbacks and receivers have been together forever. And you saw Windsor just really take over and dominate this game. And his route running is attributed to the fact that he's just on the same page as Davila. Davila knows when to get him the ball, those little nuances in the routes that you only develop when you've seen defenses over and over and over again. And the fact that they've seen every single thing that a defense can throw, they've gone through every single route hundreds of times, it's just automatic when they go out there. And the difference being for Portland, they're having to think a little bit more on every single route because you've got so many new pieces fitting together on this team.
Final stats presented by Les Schwab. You can see the numbers there. Again, a lot of those things look kind of even, but in the end, it really only matters those two numbers on the side there, that 61 and that 32. So 61 and 32, that doesn't look as good as you'd like it, for sure.
Well, the turnovers for Portland really hurt them, and then defensively, the Thunder, I was surprised that they weren't able to force any type of turnover against Arizona. Arizona does a wonderful job of protecting the ball, but this Thunder team leads the league in turnovers, forcing 25 of them on the season. And the fact they weren't able to come up with one didn't really help out the offense, which basically meant your offense had to play a flawless game. And when the offense has 4 interceptions of their own, you're going to have an uphill battle the entire game.
Danny Southwick, again, he'll be the quarterback here for a time until Rowley can get healthy. What the good and the bad from Danny Southwick tonight?
For Southwick, when he gets his feet set in the pocket and he's able to deliver the ball to his first read, he does a wonderful job. We saw things really break down when he faced pressure and when he had to go to his second and third option. And he was holding the ball a little bit too long in the pocket. And I think that comes down to the receivers not necessarily getting open immediately, a little bit of the protection of the offensive line, but he was scrambling quite a bit for a quarterback in this league. And I know the Arizona defensive front is good, but he made them all look like all-stars tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you, Floyd with the picks tonight, pretty special as well. Hey, on May 22nd, that's a week from Thursday, that's the game we were talking about. San Antonio will be in town. It's a one-win San Antonio team. It's a much different feel, I'm sure, that you're going to have if you're in the Moda Center that night than we saw tonight, Jordan.
Well, it's certainly encouraging for Portland. You played the best team in the league, and if you look at the film, you realize there are a lot of things that we could have done better to keep this game pretty close. So when San Antonio comes to town, you want to take advantage of that game.
Absolutely. I'm going to be here. You're going to be here. Megan Barry will be here. We'll all be here. Hey, thanks to the Comcast crew for an excellent job tonight. Thanks to everyone involved, and also happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. We said that at the outset. We want to again say it. Thank you for being with us here on this Mother's Day evening. Arizona wins 61-32 to go to 8-0 on the season. The Thunder now 2-6 will try to regroup and get a win at San Jose before coming home to take on San Antonio. Thanks for being with us tonight. Final score, 61-32, Arizona on top of your Thunder.